and decided to try these new melts.
Yes.
Steak and honey melt sign right behind Wes.
My wife had the chicken one a few weeks ago. High praise for it. So hopefully we'll get to try both of those today.
We'll be redoing the power rankings.
Yes, we'll be updating our power rankings.
We got some new ones to add to the mix.
Have the fries always been on the menu since they appeared last year?
I believe they're at every location now.
Okay.
They were testing them at certain places, so they weren't at all of them we went to last year. But yes, you can get fries at every location.
They're worldwide.
It's good to be with you guys, though. I mean, when's the last time we all did a show together?
Oh, it's a great question.
Like at least since what, the spring? It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. We'll all be together tomorrow, by the way, at Charwood as well.
Yes.
If Wes and Chris are going to show up early for that one, why not?
Their faces say otherwise.
There's food here. Jack actually reminded me of something that I had forgotten about. I think the last time we were at this location was the famous hot pickle when they were doing the hot one sandwich.
The last step.
I think that was the last time we were here.
The last step. There you go.
Yeah, the last step. Hot ones.
Jack and I had two different reactions to that one.
It was hot.
Wes was disappointed in mine.
It was hot.
I still am. All the build up and Tyler just ate it.
He just took it.
Well, you're the one that built it up.
No, it wasn't me.
I just took it in stride.
It was hot.
I never had it.
It was hot, but I wasn't rolling on the ground or anything like that. Jack was rolling on the ground.
Quite literally.
He had sweat on his brow.
Yeah. It was hot.
We've got good memories of this one.
We do.
We have Xavier Leggett.
Xavier Leggett was here. I feel like one other person joined us here at some point as well. I think this is our most frequented location. Again, we're literally a hop, skip, and a jump from the studio, so right down the street. But, it makes sense to be here as school's gotten rolling, got students walking around. They finally finished all the road construction right here, so we're able to get in and out really good. Jack had to make 2 laps around the block.
Well, there is street parking, but there's no spots open over here.
You got to be careful. That's the thing, because certain restaurants and things have specific parking. And you got meter spots and all that. And as we know, Columbia does not play around when it comes to parking meters.
No. Larry Chandler going to make an appearance today, too.
Our guy, Larry. Haven't seen him in a while.
It'll be awesome. Football.
Can you guys believe we are single digits away now?
Well, if you want to get specific, there is FCS football tonight. So
preview week 2.
You can watch Towson play tonight on, I believe Elijah said Flow Sports.
Flow Sports is right.
So if you want to check that out, be a real sicko, you can do that.
Is that the only thing it's on? Is Flow? Or is like you have to pay for Flow to watch Towson?
You have Flow through Amazon Prime now, I think. So if you have Amazon Prime, I think you can get through it that way.
Did not know that.
Yeah, check into that, but I'm pretty sure you can do that. But you got that game. You got a bunch of games on ESPN Plus. I'll be checking out some of those tonight, and then we're off and rolling properly for Week 0 on Saturday.
What is MNMT? That is another television network that game is on. If you want to, some kind of
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles network.
They're playing Maine. Is that Maine TV? I don't know what that is, but anyway.
Yeah, I've never heard of that one.
I thought you'd be watching. You're not going to watch the game, Wes? I've been relying on your your previews for the teams. Let me dive into
you
this
should be
team.
into this more than anybody.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'll probably if I have access, I'll probably watch it.
I definitely want to watch it because I'm ready for football.
Some of the stuff from Flow is definitely on Amazon.
It is.
I just don't know if it's all the stuff or some of the stuff. And this one, you would think they would hopefully put on there because the second basketball game that Carolina played in the Bahamas was on.
Yep.
It was on, but it got moved to Prime, I think.
But that's via Flow.
Yeah, it's like if you go to the sports section of Prime and go to channels, there's a Flow channel.
If you go to Prime, you do left, right, up, down, square,
and you got to spin around 3 times.
You blink twice, it'll pop up Flow Sports. You can't just find it. It's got to be.
Nothing's easy these days when it comes to watching games on TV. But you know what? At least we have ways to access this because years ago, these are games that you would never get the opportunity to watch because they would probably not even be on local television in these markets.
And thank God for South Carolina. They are on regular television, not all these Now, what was Jefferson Pilot back in the day? Like what's
Now,
what's
Jack,
now here-
what's
here's
the
where-
equivalent of
You
Here's
never
that?
listened
where-
to the show?
Here's where Jack shows his age
Yes.
of not being of age to remember
How?
Jefferson Pilot sports.
What?
What's the
It-
equivalent of it? What's it now? Like is it like is
hon-
it your-
honestly, the closest thing I think we have to it now is like the CW.
That's exactly
That's
right. You
probably
Okay.
the
Watch
closest comparison.
One Tree Hill rerun, and then Clemson versus Wake Forest.
Yes. And I think a lot of the channels that are now the CW would have been like the JP Sports channel back in the day. They've changed names and stuff like that, but I think it was something pretty similar.
Was the rest of the SEC also on just Jefferson?
No, so
Or is this
basically,
just
all right.
South Carolina thing?
So to run through,
Here we go.
like you would,
What a discussion.
you depending on what year you're talking about, you still had like the CBS game of the week.
Yeah.
You still had a lot of games on ESPN, but like when Mississippi State played Vanderbilt, and none of those networks wanted that game, they'd be like, all right, we're going to give it to Jefferson Pilot Sports. It was a lower quality broadcast. If you go back and find these games on YouTube,
I remember it being an incredible broadcast.
well,
Yeah.
by
At the time,
by the standards of the day, but it was
Let me just say,
it was not up to the same par as ESPN, CBS, all those other networks, whatever it may be. And it was usually a game that featured teams maybe towards the lower end of the conference.
as Wes says, a lot of Mississippi State.
Yes, like and every person on the broadcast was named Dave.
Yeah.
That's the important
Dave,
thing to
Dave, and Dave.
remember. And it was guaranteed to be at least 105 degrees in every game that was played on JP Sports. That was a minimum requirement.
Thank God for SEC Network then.
they were contractually obligated to have either Mississippi State or Vanderbilt
Yes.
playing in the game.
Yes. There was a graphic somebody put out like years ago, and I wish I could find it on Twitter, of like all the criteria for being a Jefferson Pilot sports game. Again, all the Daves on the call. I think it was like the Napa Auto Parts drive of the game or something like that. Again, it had to be at least 100 degrees. It was featuring Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, and/or a Lou Holtz coach South Carolina team at some point.
Oh, so when did they go out of
Preston Thorne on there a lot.
Preston Thorne made a lot of JP Sports appearances.
When did they hold on? So this is like early 2000s. When did they go under? Or
Ooh,
they're not still around, right?
it made it into the late 2000s.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember the
I
specific
don't know
year.
if they went under or just they got bought by.
Well, then they.
Yeah.
There's
do,
probably a lineage of. Where
do you
can-
guys remember before the SEC network, they did SEC TV on local networks, which was kind of like right after JP Sports.
Kind of like that.
I
Yeah.
briefly remember that.
Yeah.
Was like
They would kick at 12:21 every time
because
too, which
SEC
was always
Network
funny.
was, what, 2014?
Yeah.
So it was like that early 2010s period.
Yeah, and they had the same graphics package as ESPN,
Yeah.
but it would be on like a local access channel.
Yeah.
Didn't Sports South take over some of those games at some point?
I think so, because that was another part of it too. Is you had like Sports South that would get some games,
But
or
I feel like they kind of took over the Jefferson Pilot type games at some point.
maybe.
Do we give Jack a pass because of his very young age?
No.
Or okay.
Well, he's
So-
never going to give me a pass anyway.
So
He
yeah,
wants
that's
to
right.
keep-
Well,
yeah.
I was just making
All right,
sure.
You've angered Kevin Miller, by the way.
Yeah,
Ah.
Kevin very upset. I feel like Jack should get a punishment. I don't know if there's a last dab pickle still laying around.
Do we have the hottest sauce in this room here?
There is a hot sauce bar.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
hot
I know,
sauce
I know.
bar, and it's
I know.
got the numbers on it
Yeah.
to tell you what's the
You know
hottest.
what?
I'll have a pickle with the hottest sauce.
I don't know if they still
Sure,
have the
sure.
last dab pickle, but
I
we will.
I
we
think
will
it
make
was a
you.
limited time.
We will get a pickle and we will just drench it in the hottest sauce.
We need to marinate it for the rest of the show, and then you have to
Okay.
eat
All
it.
right, as soon as we can get a pickle out,
Yeah, please.
We'll,
when we get these sandwiches out here, I'll be my punishment.
That's your punishment.
yeah.
For not knowing JP Sports.
Well,
Um,
I've heard of it. I just didn't know.
How dare you not
didn't-
know Dave, Dave, and Dave?
Didn't know the history of it.
So technically speaking, we were right. So what used to be JP Sports is now actually CW Sports.
Ah.
So JP never died. It just changed names. It became Raycom, and then now it's CW. So it still lives.
It is CW.
It
With an
still
ACC,
lives.
with an ACC
Yes,
tie.
yes.
With an ACC tie. That is where you can watch Florida State on Saturday, by the way.
when they
When
play,
they play New Mexico State.
What are they, like 31.5 point favorites? I mean, it's
Yes.
No depth chart for Florida State
count
because
your
they
chickens.
didn't want to give They didn't want to give New Mexico
Yeah,
State
don't give them an
unfair
advantage. By the way, did you see the availability report between NC State and Virginia?
Insane.
I don't know who's going to play for Virginia on Saturday because everybody seems to be out.
They have like almost 15 to 20 players that are just listed
Yeah.
out.
I was like, man, what have they been doing in the offseason?
It's not just one bar of everyone being out. It extends to the
It
other
goes to the
side
second
of everyone
side.
being out.
All right. Well, they had a rough preseason camp, I guess.
Have y'all seen all of a sudden NC State has been mentioned? Like, did I miss this, or is this a new phenomenon? The last 2 weeks, I've seen NC State popping up like dark horse college football playoff team from a couple people.
They'll be good. They'll be good this year, but
will they?
I don't think.
But will they?
I don't think it's going to be playoff though.
Their
But will
ceiling
they
with
be good?
their ceiling with Dave Doran's always like 9-3.
Yeah, like an
at
8-4
best.
year, I think.
But they lost. I mean, the last couple of years, they've like lost some
Yeah.
players to the portal that are good.
to South Carolina
Yeah.
Yeah.
in a couple cases.
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah. Two of them. Now.
I haven't seen hype about them being a dark horse playoff team, but sure, why not?
Some national guy. I have to find it. Like pretty prominent.
Yeah.
that has them in the playoff.
Interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll see if that works out or not. Well, first game in it's stateside. It was going to be in Brazil. But
Does it count as an ACC game?
it does.
That's so weird.
Yeah, because they're also in. You know what? Here's my tie-in to the number 9 today, because this is usually the segment we are counting down to kickoff. The ACC, like the SEC, is going to non-conference games this year for certain teams, not every team,
Because they have 17 teams. In the
right.
league, right.
And basically, if you play Notre Dame on your schedule, you don't play 9 conference games; you play 8, because that is a quasi-conference game, even though it doesn't count towards the standings.
When they played last year, NC State and Virginia opened the year. It wasn't a conference game, though, right? Because
I
at
don't
the time they were at 8.
Think so, yeah, because
Yeah.
there's been a few
So
instances
strange.
where they've done games that don't count towards your conference record, but this one will count. Did look it up. They
It's a
both
big
play
one.
non-conference games. And yeah, for 9 days kickoff, by the way, Carolina non-conference games for the first time ever this year.
There you go.
And you got to,
Way to squeeze it in between
yeah,
Jefferson,
well,
Pilot,
we
Forrest.
kind of went down a different, Wes and Chris usually aren't in on this segment, so we went kind of down a different path there. But yes, we at some point do mention the days till kickoff. 9 days,
Way to-
Carolina playing 9 conference games, which starts with Mississippi State, which, as we've said, might be the biggest game of Beamer's career.
Way to squeeze it in there. Yeah, that's
all in a row too, because you play the 9 conference games, then Clemson as the last game of the season.
Yeah, don't sleep on that Mississippi State game.
Do not. No, that's a tricky team, and again, that game is going to carry a lot of stakes because, quite frankly, we're not going to know how good Carolina can be through the first 2 weeks if they're winning those games by significant margins, which we hope they do. It's better than winning tight games, but yeah, week 3 will tell us everything.
Yeah,
as we know.
Will you guys get off your tablets?
Working.
Join the conversation.
We're
at the
working.
table. Oh yeah.
No one is on a tablet. First of all,
No,
Phone, computer,
All
tablet.
right, that's it. I'm going to get.
yeah,
I'm gonna get Vet to give me a pickle, and
We're
then
gonna- we're gonna get.
Yeah, that's, you've just doubled your
are
hot sauce
you-
for that.
Are you hanging around till 11 or the whole show?
I'm gonna hang out the whole show.
Okay, we're gonna let that thing marinate for 3 hours,
Ah,
and then the
jeez.
last segment when we're doing our power rankings, we're
All
gonna
right.
eat the hottest pickle we
That
can come
is-
up with.
That is fine. We'll do it.
All right, it is the Extra Point and Gamecock Central takeover. We're out at Firehouse Subs, 633 Main Street here in the heart of campus. We'll get into what Kendall Briles had to say yesterday. Coming up next here on your Thursday on the game.
All right, a AAA Heating and Air. Home comfort is their top priority. Give them a call today at 803-677-1500 to schedule a seasonal maintenance appointment. Let AAA Heating and Air's qualified technicians put your mind at ease with a thorough inspection and cleaning of your heating and cooling system. Join their popular AAA Comfort Club to take advantage of special extras like flexible visits, added discounts, priority scheduling, and so much more. AAA Heating and Air also offers indoor air quality products that work with your HVAC system to improve your home's air quality. Clean the air eliminates common household odors, removes allergens, pollutants, and can even improve sleep and reduce the spread of some viruses. So go to callAAAtoday.com for more info. Call 3AStoday.com for more info. Tell Jack from 107.5 The Game sent you on over.
I'll be on the field, and that's where I like to be, just to be around the players and feel the energy of the game, look guys in the eye. That's where I'm most comfortable, so I'll be down on the field.
Welcome back in. It is the Extra Point and Gamecock Central takeover here at Firehouse Sub 633 Main Street, right here in the heart of campus. We also have a delivery robot apparently going down the sidewalk right there. So that's cool.
That's been the case for the last couple of years, though.
Okay.
Around campus, I don't know why it's.
Do you know what it's delivering?
Food
It's about to get hit by a car if it's not careful.
I bet you,
That was close.
How much do you think that thing's worth? Right
a lot.
Like probably it's worth as much as that car right there.
It might be. It's got a face on it. Look at it. Anyways, not to get distracted, we just heard from Kendall Briles, who said yesterday that he is going to be down on the field calling plays this upcoming season. I feel like we kind of assume that. I have never known Kendall Briles to be a booth play caller, but did finally get the confirmation yesterday he would be on the field this season.
Who asked that question?
You're some guy, his name might be Jason.
Some guy who apparently predicts Carolina to lose 49-0.
Yeah. Oh, that guy. That guy from Gamecock Central.
Yeah. Which, hey, thanks for reading staff picks, by the way.
I never actually picked South Carolina to lose 49-0.
He just saw you and was like, "Staff picks, Jack."
Yeah.
All right.
That guy.
He's
a target.
He's our biggest hater. Like Chris hates the SEC. You hate South Carolina. And Wes hates everything. # fire Wes Mitchell.
Yeah.
Especially hate week 0.
Yes. Yes, he does.
Why?
But we're not going down that road again. We're going to
Anyways.
stay on Tyler's topic for this
Take you back
segment.
to Kendall
Jack
aren't you supposed to
asked
be
the question
Kendall
about
Riles.
where Kendall would be
Jack,
calling
aren't you
games
supposed to be
from.
responding to something from Tyler right now?
Well, then you guys are like, who asked that question? I was about to be like, you're welcome.
What did you think of his answer?
Hey, he said he's very comfortable calling plays in the field, and I know Dal Loggins called plays in the booth. Shula called plays in the field. We know how that went. What about Marcus Satterfield? That was before I got in the beat. What
Booth, and then also did come down
Yeah.
at some point. So there's a split there.
Yeah. I kind of asked him if there was like a difference really at all for him, but it's just a comfortability thing, like being able to interact with the players and whatnot, and just being right there in front of the action. So I think if that's where he's always been, then
Well, and look, you have assistants up in the booth that are your eyes in the sky that are giving you the perspective you don't have up there. So it's not like you don't get to see the chess pieces being moved. It's just personal preference for everybody. And, like you said there, he likes to look guys in the eye, be down there on field level, get the emotions of what's going on in game. So it's to each their own. There's no perfect way to do it. Now, again, if the offense is struggling out of the gate, people can say, hey, he needs to get up in the booth. Maybe that'll help out. But until then, it's fine for whatever he chooses to do.
I don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, either way, I think it'll be fine.
You also have the iPads now, which
You do, yeah.
allows you in between drives to go over there and just dissect, which that's something that might have been easier to do in the past if you were in the booth, but now you have instant feedback. And so, I think it's one of those things, whoever your coach is, whatever they're comfortable with is the right move. Now that is definitely a break glass in case of emergency thing. When offenses struggle, it's like, what can we do to fix it? Well, let's put him in the sky. And it's like, does it ever really?
Or let's put them down on the field.
Yes,
if
sure.
it's up in the
Yeah.
booth.
That's the first step of your offense is struggling. Okay, what can we change right now? The vantage point of where he's calling plays.
Yeah, there's
that's step one.
The flow chart.
Yeah.
Of what you have to do. But no, I think that's how Browse has done it. And you're right, Tyler. Like you can think of coaches who call plays from the booth. You can think of coaches who call plays on the field, and you can think of good and bad results for both of those. But I think the key for an OC and being comfortable enough to call plays on the field is just what you said, Wes. Like you got the iPads now, which you didn't have many years ago. You didn't really have that. And then you got to be able to trust, like you said, Tyler, you got to be able to trust the people up in the booth. But for Kendall, I think he likes to have that ability to talk to his quarterback, look him in the eye, get that perspective on the field. And so, not surprised, no change in how he's going to structure that.
One of the topics around the offense last year was the idea of balance and how Shula thought of balance when it came to runs and pass plays. Cut number 17 here, Kale. Here's Kendall Browse answering a question, I believe, from Elijah about his philosophy on balance on offense.
Yeah. For us, we have, a lot of mixed plays, RPO plays. And so a lot of times, the defense determines, whether that is a run or a throw. And so, we can call those plays and base down situations, even third down situations. And, it kind of depends on what the defense is doing that determines where the ball is going. But, productivity over balance always, if you can protect the ball and move the ball and sustain drives and stay on the field and convert when you need to convert, keep the defense on the sideline and let them make adjustments, then, that's production.
Balance should never be, throwing the ball half the time and running the ball half the time, specifically when you're talking about an offense like he runs there, what he said, those mixed plays, RPOs, as is more commonly referred to, is really dictated based on what the defense gives you, how the quarterback reads those to determine what kind of play you're going to run. So really the balance to me is about being successful in whatever you're doing and putting yourself in situations to make the play calling easier, right? Because we saw so many times last year, Carolina found themselves in 1st and 15s or 3rd and 20s and things like that, where you're a lot more limited in what you can call because you have a longer distance to gain as opposed to being in 2nd and 5 or 3rd and 3 and things like that. Staying ahead of the chains opens up that playbook and allows you to be more balanced because you have more plays at your disposal.
Yeah, I think balance, you can make it mean a lot of things. I think are you efficient in throwing the ball and running the ball? Not necessarily how many times you do it. Are you able to run the ball when you have to run the ball? So if it's 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, am I able to get the 1 yard? And that's where I think a lot of the analytics, which can be overblown to an extent, do give you some value, because analytics, an old just stat will say that was a 1 yard run. An analytic will say that was a 1 yard run on 4th and 1. So you picked up the first down. And so I think that's where, if you average 1 yard a carry, then not good. If you are picking up all your 3rd and 1s and 4th and 1s, very, very good. So, I think that's balance as well. I think there's an element of balance to, can I attack you inside? Can I attack you horizontally? Can I attack you vertically down the field? The offenses that can't do one of those things, good defenses will ultimately kind of just choke them out, so to speak. If you can't stretch it vertically, safeties creep up. They creep up. They're not going to trust you to throw it over their heads, and it affects everything else you do. So I think in order to, really be a great offense, you got to be able to do all those things. It's not necessarily 50-50. And it seems like there's a little bit of just, I don't know if it's natural or he's just been doing it for so long, just innate things that Bryles kind of does, but he's not necessarily measuring. Like there was the question about, do you time out the amount of time in between plays in practice when you're trying to work on tempo? And Bryles was basically like, not really, but if you've been doing tempo your entire coaching life, I'm sure you know what that feels like. You know what that looks like. So I don't think he's going to be over there counting, well, we've ran it 22 times. We got to make sure we throw it a few more times. Really, it's more about, are you efficiently doing both?
And I mean, the way tempo works that he mentioned yesterday, it doesn't matter if you can't run it the way you want to if you're not doing well on first down specifically. Like you throw a pass play and it's incomplete, well, and you're just going back into the huddle for 2nd down. So I think tempo also helps with creating urgency for the offense, right? And I think it gives them a better chance to catch the defense off guard, run a lot more of what they want, and you have the option, I think, to kind of take you either way. Throw a deep ball downfield, throw a quick pass, or just run the ball up the middle. So, but I think at the end of the day, with creating balance, I think the key here is, tempo matters, but I think also you got to be able to block, because I think South Carolina is going to be able to throw the ball a lot this year. But the key really is, we've continued to hear all these good things about, I mean, he even said it yesterday, he feels like they have 5 SEC running backs in that room. Got to be able to run the football this season, and it can't just be Lenore Sellers. It's got to be at least someone in that running back room that is able to carry the load this season.
We'll see the offense in action for the first time 9 days from now as the kickoff against Kent State next Saturday at 12:45. What did Clayton White have to say about the defense and maybe a surprise name leading the way as the 4th linebacker? We'll get into that coming up next as we continue on live from Firehouse Subs here in the heart of campus, 633 Main Street on your Thursday on the Game. All right, welcome back in. Extra Point and Gamecock Central takeover live at Firehouse Subs. 633 Main Street, heart of USC campus. Store opens up in about 30 minutes. Come by and hang out with us, grab some subs. Let's talk some football 9 days away from kickoff. Jack's Pickle is marinating currently. What sauce do we have that in? Do we know?
Wasn't it the Gator
Proprietary.
sauce? Yeah. Actually, yes.
Now, the Gator's not the spiciest sauce.
Okay.
It's kind of in the middle.
Well, it was
No,
whatever number 8
Yeah,
was.
it was
Okay.
it was the highest one.
I'm gonna go look.
And
Plus some additional
Okay, all right.
ingredients.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, little.
We're
Some
crafting
sriracha,
because
a
the
ghost pepper.
the last dab hot ones was the limited time offering.
Yes.
So we're crafting the hottest pickle we can come up with
Yes.
with the resources we have available here.
Yeah.
And
That'd be fantastic.
Jack, do you have to go anywhere the rest of the day after your leave here?
Go home and die. Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say just make sure you're
It's
maybe-
called the sizzling scorpion.
Sizzling scorpion.
sizzling scorpion.
That sounds
Fantastic.
Sounds.
I think that's gonna
Sounds
treat
bad.
you real well.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Now is it like just? I mean, it's marinated, so it's a full pickle, right? Or
Is
like a
it-
slice,
Or the pickle
it's a
pickle
spear.
spear like they give you on
Okay.
with sandwich.
It's a
Okay.
spear. It's
By the-
marinating.
There goes our robot again. So it's apparently delivered whatever.
Yeah. Oh, so
did
it's
not
got
get hit by
Grubhub.
a
It's a
on it.
Grubhub robot.
We can't. Nope.
Yep.
Who was ordering Grubhub at 9:30? Well, breakfast, I
Yeah.
guess. But
I guess. Anyways, so that's something that's happening. What else is happening is getting closer to kickoff. Here from coordinators yesterday. And look, we go into these press settings not expecting to learn a ton, but an interesting little nugget was something that Clayton White was asked about yesterday when it came to the fourth linebacker spot. We know about Sean Murphy, J.R. Johnson, and Justin Okoronkwo returning as your main linebacking unit, but those guys can't be on the field the entire time, so there's going to be a rotation. So who's going to be the next one in line? And this is from yesterday, Kale. Here's what Clayton White said about that fourth linebacker spot. 6.
Yeah, I do feel there's separation there, and feel like to me, Rish has been the clear cut. He's done an outstanding job since the past couple of years, to be honest with you. Very serious guy, understands our defense. He plans Mike and Will. That's been the challenge to all four. The top 4 guys is to play both positions. Some guys are also playing a third position, but I think that's great for him. He's made some plays. He knows when he gets in as a 6 man off the bench. You coming in as the 6th guy like old Vinny Johnson from Detroit Pistons. Y'all too young for that. But when you come in off the bench like that, your job is to make plays. And he had a couple punch outs. He had an interception and a tip ball, but he's around the ball, and I think he understands his role. He understands the value of the football team that he brings. He's kind of like a glue guy on this defense and on this team.
And who he's referring to is Jamian Risher, who's been on the team since 2023 when he joined as a walk-on, got put on scholarship earlier on this year. So he's been around for a while, but I don't know if he's somebody that people would have expected to be listed as that fourth linebacker. Again, he's got a lot of experience, been around the team for a while. One of the older guys in that room, but maybe surprising to hear that he might be leading the way in terms of that conversation right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a guy, man, that just has done what he's needed to do to put himself in that position. I'd like to think Gamecock Central has been driving the Jamie Risher fan club for a few months.
I was about to say, I feel like we've had a lot of good things that have been said about him through y'all's reporting.
And he's been mentioned a lot by players throughout the offseason when being asked about the linebacker room. They do mention him a lot.
Yeah, so I think it's one of those things. If you're just casually following the team, you may be like who is that? Honestly, if you're following every beat on the team, you maybe had an idea this was coming. Even at not media days, Birdies with Beamer, Clayton White basically said at the time, like, hey, Rish is in the lead in this battle. And so that means you're beating out a Donovan Darden. That means you're beating out an A.J. Holloway. Josh Smith has, been dealing with an injury. He would have been in that mix as well. But I think for Rish, this is just him getting comfortable. I think played safety in high school. So he's an athletic guy who has kind of had to grow into the linebacker position, was a true walk-on. Not even a preferred walk-on, a true walk-on. Did it the old school way.
Didn't even play his first year at South Carolina. He's been at South Carolina since 22, but he didn't make the team till 23.
Yep. So, just an awesome story. Great guy. And much like Jack is also a movie buff.
Oh, okay.
I do remember you guys telling me about this. So what were his?
Don't ask me because I do not remember.
No.
He gave his top.
He said Rush Hour, didn't he? Whatever.
You need your own personal media availability with him to discuss nothing but
don't worry.
movies.
I'll request him for next week. I can't promise we'll get him, but
it's just going to be Jack asking him movie questions the entire time.
First question before we get started here: what are your favorite 4 movies?
Maybe we can effort a Garnet Trust Hour appearance and let Jack.
You know what? I think that sounds like a good idea.
Let's get set up.
And by the way, y'all remember Jamien's middle name?
See, Tyler, we've told you about.
I know we've talked about him.
We have given you the goods on this.
You got the goods on him. Yep. From Barnville, South Carolina.
I don't remember the middle name.
It's Lenoris, isn't it?
That's right. Okay.
Jamien Lenoris Risher.
What are the odds?
Yes.
What are the odds?
Is this a fact?
Yes.
It's a fact. There you go. Gamecocks Online.
Holy smokes, that's crazy.
But when again you mentioned Clayton White mentioning it at Birdies with Beamer, again talking to a bunch of different people, so maybe that didn't get as much run in terms of being heard publicly. He mentions this yesterday. It's obviously a way to acknowledge what Risher has done up to this point, but you talk about those younger guys, Darden, Holloway, Josh Smith dealing with an injury, but that's a way to motivate those guys too. Like, hey, you were thought of as being the guys that come in here and plug into this role. This guy's ahead of you right now. We need to see more out of you if you want to earn this spot yourself.
Yeah, and I think, this is, and I think an example, like, there can be a youth movement at certain positions, but being a veteran and knowing exactly where to be in this defense and having the trust of your coaches and, Rich is a guy who's going to help a lot on special teams this year too. So that's really, I think, I would imagine what probably first got the coach's attention is what he did on special teams, in practice the last couple of years. So it's just not really been in the cards for him to play much like last year. But I think, I want to say, I don't know if we reported it. I want to say we heard his name pop up last year too as being someone the staff liked and trusted and felt good about. It was just a matter of, there's what, 4 guys for sure, maybe more ahead of you last year. And now, it's those 3 main guys. And then, the 4th guy does play in this scheme. So Rich will be out there. You certainly, I think that's a spot though where those main 3 guys are so good. You need to avoid injuries in that group, I think, because there's depth, but I wouldn't say it's like the deepest position on the team either.
Yes, the depth you want to keep, you want to be able to rotate that depth and play. And those 3 guys will play the most. Like if you look at the snap counts from last year, I would imagine they're probably going to be pretty similar this year in that Murphy and J.O. and J.R. all played like there wasn't this huge gap, in snaps between all those guys. And so, Rich might not see the field a ton, but to your point, Wes, he's going to play. He's going to play on special teams. So I think, you look at his journey from student here to let me go to the walk-on tryouts and make the team, and now going all the way to this spring, he gets put on scholarship and is in line to like legitimately help this team. So it's a really cool story.
Yeah, I mean, like Clayton White said, like compare him to a 6th man. Now, was anyone old enough to watch this Vinny Johnson on the Bad Boy Pistons back in the day?
Maybe Jamien Risher's nickname can be the microwave too, since he got that.
I gotta say that one went a little bit over my head too.
I've heard about him, but I think that was a little before my time.
Yeah, I mean
Clayton White also a big time NBA fan too.
Yeah.
So that reference was not surprising.
Yeah, I mean Vinny Johnson played from 79 until 92.
Okay,
That's a long career.
I was -4 when he retired. Then Jack was what, -8?
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, that was NBA was actually like the first sport I watched on TV.
Yeah,
growing up,
you're a big pro sports guy growing up.
So I loved watching the NBA. But 92, I was about 6. It was a little iffy.
I do remember the microwave nickname though. I've heard stories about
Fantastic.
him, which is
a great
phenomenal. Great stuff. We'll come back, wrap up hour number 1. ESPN making a change to their college football broadcast. We'll tell you about that coming up next. It is the Extra Point and Gamecock Central takeover live at Firehouse Subs here on campus, 633 Main Street on the Game. And welcome back in. Extra Point and Gamecock Central Takeover Live. Firehouse Subs, heart of campus, 633 Main Street. Store opens up in about 12 minutes. So if you're in town and you're walking by, come on in, enjoy some subs, talk some footballs. We're 9 days away from South Carolina kicking off against Kent State, which will be seen on the SEC Network. Though, if you are watching it on TV, it's going to look a little bit different. As it was announced yesterday, that ESPN is going to get rid of their bottom line ticker during college football broadcast on all of their family of networks, ESPN, ABC, the SEC Network, ACC Network, and all those. Now, this is in line with what they do for like Monday Night Football, NBA, and when they're broadcasting the college football playoff and national championship, there's nothing at the bottom of the screen during those games. But for college football, it's always been there. I don't really know who's asking for this, but it's a change being made nonetheless.
I think the presentation will look a bit cleaner in that way. Like, I think I wish they just kept the ticker to like college football only or like sports specific only when a certain sport is getting broadcasted on these networks, like NBA. Show me the rest of the NBA scores going on. I don't need to hear about another random sport that's
Aaron Judge's home run chase that they keep breaking into and telling us about.
I love Aaron
Definitely
Judge.
did not need to hear about that.
No, definitely did not need to hear about that. Like, so I think the presentation will look cleaner from that standpoint. However, I can't imagine ESPN is going to take it away forever because that's a good way to get some ad placement on there. And we know ESPN loves their Disney Plus on there, their gambling sites on there, and it's a good way to bring in sponsorship money.
What is the purpose of this?
So an ESPN spokesperson says, we're always looking for ways to better serve sports fans. By removing the bottom line during live action, we're creating a cleaner presentation that keeps the focus where it belongs on the field.
Okay,
that is the
what
reasoning.
What is the real reason?
Yes. Okay, so the conspiracy theory that I believe, by the way.
Put your tinfoil hat on.
No, I don't think you need one. Is that, and a couple people brought this up on Twitter in a Yahoo story. You know how people pull in, like, here's how people are reacting. But there's some good points in there. Some people love it. Some people hate it, just like everything else. Score one for the corporate partners. Can't be letting fans have visibility to scores in more compelling games if they're carried by different networks.
Fair.
We don't want people, translated, we don't want people realizing other games may be possibly better and switching away to another network. Decent point. Now, flip side, everybody has smartphones now, or what Jack calls a tablet. And then
that was good. I'll give you that. That was good. That was good.
So you can look it up and you can be like, oh, this game is on. I'm checking the scores. And then I'm going to switch to that game, right? Or you're watching 4 games at once on YouTube TV or whatever. So, now is that part of it? I mean, I can buy that. Like, it's part of it. Like, we want you watching this game, not another game.
What were the other conspiracies? Or that's the main one?
That's the main one.
I've seen that one too. And I'm like, I can buy that of like, all right, if you're watching, I don't know, Carolina play whoever at noon and you're seeing at the bottom, oh, wow, Ohio State and Penn State are in a, fourth quarter shootout on Fox for Big Noon Saturday. They don't switching channels.
Because I've done that before.
Yeah.
Do they? I know they do it for like before the game starts, like with the ticker of like listing what channel the game's on. I'm pretty sure on that. But during when there's like a score actually live flashing on screen, I don't believe they show what channel the game's on. Right?
If it's not on an ESPN network. So the bottom line never says, hey, this game's on Fox. This game is on CBS. Okay. If it's on ESPN too, they'll put that there. But they never acknowledge the other channels they don't own.
Okay, so don't y'all think, though, you're now taking my attention off of this game because I have to go look in my phone?
Yes.
And I'm going to get distracted anyway.
With an app that sometimes doesn't work.
Yes.
Too.
Yes.
The ESPN app can be a little iffy sometimes.
But now I'm looking at this and, squirrel. Like, now my attention is off your game, actually.
Yeah, whereas you might have just, I can look at the scores during this
game.
Yes,
who doesn't like score? Who doesn't like, look,
Right.
Like the most recent example I can specifically remember was watching games last year, and it was, wait a second, UCLA is beating Penn State.
Yeah.
Let me go watch that game. Yeah. And that, like, I was not tracking UCLA Penn State at all.
Sure.
And then, you see it. Well, oh shoot, let me go watch
Yeah.
that game. I don't know, man. Like, yeah, you can. It may look cleaner, but who doesn't want to walk into a restaurant or bar too, and you don't actually have the volume on TV and be able to sit there and see the scores come across, as opposed to one other reason to dive into these screens.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't think ESPN does anything like for the good of the world. So it's going to look cleaner. It would look cleaner if they actually got 4K cameras for all their broadcasts. That would
Fair
look
point.
Or
way
their app
cleaner.
worked.
Yeah. Now what's
the
gonna
time.
be frustrating is if they eventually just replace where the bottom line was with just ads, right? Because they have had small parts of the bottom line with ads, usually promoting other games or
it'll get
things
to that
coming
point.
on. But like, all right, if you have, I don't know, Home Depot now on the bottom line instead of the ticker or something like
They'll probably
that.
just simulcast Pat McAfee in the bottom corner at this rate.
The Pat
You know?
Pat McAfee bottom line.
Well, that's the thing.
Just his takes.
I know people don't like ads being everywhere, but I got no problem with, it's the Firehouse subs bottom line. If you're just telling me that and then giving me a bunch of scores,
Sure.
like, that's fine. Cool.
Yeah.
Like,
But just giving me an ad there in the place of it.
Just giving me an ad, then
Yeah.
it's, it's probably going to be annoying. But there's 100 other things ESPN could focus on, I feel like, as opposed to
Sure.
the freaking bottom line.
How long do we think until they inevitably bring the ticker back?
I don't know.
Is there enough?
I don't know what there's a plan. There's an evil plan.
There's definitely a master plan of like bringing it back at some point.
Is it something people get so upset about in season they would have to bring it back? We'll see, because it would take a lot of backlash. So I don't know. It's going to look different when you're watching games this year on ESPN. Hour number 2 on the way on your Thursday here on the Game, live from Firehouse. All right, welcome back in, hour number two. Welcome back in, hour number two, Garnet Trust Hour, presented by Krantz Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. We're live at Firehouse Subs, Tyler West and Chris and Jack, along with you on your Thursday, watching students walk around campus as class is back in session. We're only 9 days away from South Carolina playing its first game of the season against Kent State next Saturday. Later on this hour, we're going to do things a little bit differently. We're going to move trivia up to 10:30 because Sherrod Golightly going to be joining us in the midst of the trivia question about him today that was requested by a listener a few weeks ago at one of your Gamecock Club speaking events. So the first time ever we've had the subject of trivia call in during trivia.
Here's what I envision.
Okay.
Y'all can agree or disagree. I'm thinking bring in Sherrod. Ask your trivia question, Tyler. We'll try to make a run at it, and then Sherrod can tell us if we're right or not. It'd be kind of funny if he didn't even know. He's like, I got no clue.
I was wondering how to structure this. That's a really good way to do that. See, let him be the judge and see if he remembers the specifics. Yes. If I can fool him on a trivia question about himself, that'd be pretty good.
That'd be pretty good. Yeah, for sure. I feel like he'll know, but we'll see.
I think he'll know this.
I look forward to it.
I feel like he'll know this one. Again, that's coming up at 10:30 as we're 9 days away from Carolina kicking off. There are some FCS games going on tonight, and then week 0 gets started on Saturday with teams in FBS, and a lot of interesting teams playing not only, for week number 1, but playing on week 0 with coaches that are going into interesting years. This weekend, you have Bill Belichick with UNC. You have, Lincoln Riley going into a very pivotal year at Southern California. Of course, you got the Kiffins and Dabos of the world playing each other next weekend. And it made me think of a make your case. Kale hit it. There you go. What coach in college football needs a week 1/week 0 win in the worst way? A lot of different ways you can go with this.
I would say Dabo. I think he needs to get off to a 1-0 start. Road win, Baton Rouge, spoil Lane Kiffin's first game. And I think outside of this state, in Columbia specifically, I think the rest of the country is probably rooting for Clemson to beat LSU just because of all the optics of what's been going on at LSU lately.
The evil empire that's become LSU.
Yes, the evil empire. So
that would take a lot of pressure off Dabo if they pulled off that win.
And I think I don't know what the deal is with what happens if this is not a great year for Clemson. Does he get fired? I mean, it's like, what is it actually possible he gets canned this year? I don't think so. But.
I don't think it's possible for them. And I didn't see last year coming, but it's not like they were 3-9. I can't see a world in which Clemson is, and I could be wrong. Be glad to be proven wrong, but I can't see a world in which they're so bad that they're thinking about that at the end of the year. I think, look, people are going to be frustrated if they don't, like Tiger Illustrated will be on fire if they lose to LSU, especially if they don't look good doing it. But, guys, go up and down their schedule. I mean, they play Miami at home first Saturday in October. Other than that, I mean, there's a lot of really winnable games, even if you're not a great team on there. So I do see what you're saying, Jack, but I don't think it's like necessarily like a tone setter for the season.
It would help. It would help them out greatly. It would help them out greatly. It would definitely calm down the flames that are impending.
Yeah, it could be like, all right, well, this is maybe a playoff team if they can win.
Dude, if they get blown out by LSU, I mean, it's going to be scorch earth going on to because that game last year, I can't really remember. I mean, like last year they lost a pretty close game to LSU and things were heating up at the time. So yeah, I think for Clemson, Dabo would definitely take a little bit of the pressure off heading into the season.
Okay, so Jack's going to go with Dabo.
What would the reaction be from the LSU side if after this entire offseason and everything they did, they lose their opener at home?
To a team that people believe is trending in the other direction.
I mean, maybe Lane Kiffin is the answer. He needs,
Yeah.
Just because of not that anybody's going to throw a parade when LSU wins, but I think for, to avoid the other side of that, what would the reaction be if you lost? Like, that would be insane. The first guy that came to mind for me, and maybe it's because it is week 0, which I do not celebrate, or that you just mentioned, but I mean, Belichick has got to be up there. Now, I mean, has he secretly resigned himself to, like, I mean, do you think he still believes this is working, or he's just like, well, I still get to coach football. I get paid really, really well. Like,
I think he's smart enough to know that he may be in over his head. He's just riding it out.
Yeah, you got to ride. Like, you got to see it through, right?
Yeah.
If you're him, you're not going to quit and throw away all that money. So, but yeah, he comes to mind. I mean, how about I'm looking through the schedules from week 1. How about Norvell and Florida State against SMU?
That was going to be my pick.
Well,
That's a big Monday night game.
Yeah, and then they play Saturday too, for week 0.
And that's a ranked SMU team
Now,
they're playing.
Again, the New Mexico State shouldn't be a problem. If they lose that game, oh boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that SMU game is really, I think, the litmus test for a lot of people of, okay, have you actually got something this year or not?
Guys, don't y'all feel like there's the hot seat where it's like, this guy might be on the hot seat. Then there's the hot seat where pretty much everybody thinks this guy will not be back after this season.
Right.
That's where Norvell sits right now. Nobody expects him to be back.
Yeah.
So that said, number 19 SMU is a 2.5-point favorite over Florida State, who everybody thinks is terrible.
Yeah.
So not a double-digit favorite. So, I mean, it's kind of like, do FSU fans even want to have a good season in a roundabout way?
Right.
I don't know. My answer is Belichick, but you can go a lot of different ways.
I was going to go with Norvell. I mean, not for week 0. You can check out that game on the CW, by the way. The FSU New Mexico
The artist
State.
formerly known as the Jefferson Pilot.
AP Sports. But yeah, they've got that Monday night game against SMU. Then you look, they got an off week. Then they go to Bama. The October month is going to be big for them because they're at Louisville, at Miami. They got an off week, and then they play Clemson, right? And then that's not to mention, Pitt, NC State. They got the rivalry game with Florida. Like, you can very easily see 5 or 6 losses here without squinting. And if that's the case, that's probably not good enough to bring this guy back, right? So I wouldn't say weeks. Now, if it is a week 0 loss, then it's curtains, probably.
Yeah.
But that week 1 game against SMU, he's really going to need, I think, this year.
I've got an underrated one that I just thought about. And honestly, I'm not expecting them to win this game in week 1. How about Luke Fickell at Wisconsin?
Notre Dame.
Yeah, this is a big – I think this is a big year for Wisconsin from the standpoint of if things go real bad again, I think he's out.
That seat is hot.
Tell me how you guys feel. I'm surprised they brought him back. And I think, if I read it correctly, I think they invested a lot more into the program.
They did.
So, look, I'm not expecting them to go to Lambeau and beat Notre Dame. They're 20.5-point underdogs. But talk about, like, not making a bowl game again this year, go, like, 4 or 5 wins. Yeah, I think this is pretty easy to move on from them.
And I think they just did do we invest in firing a guy and having to pay a buyout and then buy, all these new coaches coming in and then have to invest X amount of money in NIL resources as well? Or do we just say, hey, we're going to give this guy one more chance and invest that money in NIL rev share right now? And so they went that route. We'll see what happens. I think that's a good point too. Like, college football fans would tell you, hey, a win is a win and a loss is a loss. But if you're Wisconsin, don't y'all feel like getting blown out and losing by 30 versus opening up with Notre Dame, who many people have like penciled in to the college football playoff? If you played them tight and lost by 6,
that's pretty good.
Like Wisconsin fans are probably going to be like, okay,
got
hey,
something.
progress.
Because I'll tell you what, the rest of the schedule, there's 2-3 games I would say that are pretty tough that I think they may lose. Southern Cal at home, at Iowa, and at Penn State. Penn State's your opener for Big Ten play, but no Indiana on the schedule, no Ohio State, no Michigan. Who else am I missing in the Big Ten? No Oregon on the schedule.
Okay,
So it is very favorable that if Wisconsin looks okay in the opener, maybe they end up doing a little bit better than what people think.
I'll give you one more too. I mean, what about Mississippi State?
Huge year for Jeff Hubby.
And that's so they're and this is cheating because week one they're at their ULM, right? So I'm kind of going to week. You asked about week 0, week 1, but like just in general, I mean they've had they improved from year 1 to year 2. Still didn't win a lot of games, but they were a lot better. And so this year is pivotal because it's going to be hard to sell. Hey, we had 3 straight losing seasons and pretty bad losing seasons in a row. For a place that's had some success, they have ULM at Minnesota, and then you start conference play. Of course, they come here to Columbia, and then you play 5 straight ranked teams: Bama, LSU, Oklahoma, and Texas. Tough slate to open the season.
Sure.
Well, for those guys, for Florida State week 0, like you also want to avoid being, every year there's this completely inexplicable upset. Yeah. Like you've got to avoid being on the wrong end of that too, if you're already on the hot seat, because, we're at a weird time now, man. I mean, we saw how quickly things flipped for some coaches last year where it seems like ADs are firing earlier and earlier in a season. So if you get off to a bad start, it can be tough. But that's interesting on Wisconsin, Jack. Like they could schedule their way to a bowl.
Their schedule is very doable.
Have you looked at Notre Dame's schedule then? Like,
yeah, it's a lot of
that thing is light.
Yeah,
with the exception of Miami and BYU.
Hey, they got
2 teams.
They got to go to Navy this year. That's a
man. That thing is
triple option, man.
That thing is light.
Now, hey, this is a team that did lose to Northern Illinois and made the national championship 2 years ago.
But this,
so
this is this might be my pick to win the national championship this year. They should be really good.
I'll throw, because you guys mentioned a lot of good ones, I'll throw one kind of underrated one in there. How about Dave Aranda and Baylor? They're taking on Auburn in Atlanta for the athletic kickoff game.
Right,
and look, he won the conference title in his second year. They've had a 1 winning season since then. He's on a very hot seat. They're taking on a rebuilding Auburn team. They got DJ Lagway out of the transfer portal. This is one of those games, like, you're supposed to make a statement to start the season. And if they lose to Auburn, it's like, okay, start packing your bags, Dave. This one's probably over with.
Who's favored in that game?
That is
probably Auburn, right?
Auburn by 7.
So, I think Auburn's going to be decent this year. Like, I think 7 wins is on the table for Auburn.
Well, that was another team that was a tough out last year. They were so good on defense
and
a horrific offense, and nobody looked forward to playing them. They just didn't win enough games. They didn't score enough points.
Well, when your head coach is has an offensive background, you have bad offense. They usually is like, okay, I need to change something here.
But you're rotating DJ Durkin, really good defensive coordinator. But I agree with your Baylor pick. By the way, see Baylor's new uniforms they dropped?
I did.
Those need to be their full-time uniforms.
Good look.
It's a very clean look with the bear claw on the shoulder there.
Again, we'll talk to Sherrod Golightly coming up at 10:30. He'll be involved in our trivia for 9 days to kickoff. But coming up next, the NFL getting rid of one of its marquee events during the year. We'll talk about that coming up on the other side. It is the Garnet Trust Hour presented by Krantz Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing on your Thursday. Live from Firehouse. Doors open. Come by and see us. USC main campus at 633 Main Street here on the Game. All right, welcome back in. Garnet Trust Hour presented by Krantz Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. Tyler West, Chris Jack. Dreamy Josh has indeed showed up 15 minutes before he said he was going to. Hanging out here at Firehouse Sub, 633 Main Street. Store is open. Come by and see us. I'm assuming most people are in class now because the foot traffic has severely died down around us. But everybody walking to class. Beautiful day. The rain's finally cleared up, and excited to be out here. Again, it's been a while since been out Firehouse Subs. Larry will come by a little bit later. Be good to see him as well. And yeah, always fun to be out here. Appreciate everybody at Firehouse Subs for taking good care of us. Yes, Chris.
Dreamy Josh also, did he come armed with tickets?
Dreamy
Various
Josh,
items?
did you come armed with tickets?
Yes.
What do we have? Okay.
Home opener.
Okay.
Kudos.
All right. How many home openers do we have?
1.
3 pairs. What do they need to do for these?
They need to join me in eating the pickle.
No.
No, I'm kidding. Okay, we don't.
That's your own punishment.
Yeah. No.
We did the dance the one time here, right?
Mm-hmm. Didn't do the chicken dance.
Didn't we have somebody serenade you with a song one time too? That was
First step is get here.
yeah. Get here.
Yeah,
Sure,
okay.
You know what?
We'll figure it
If
out.
you get here and say I want tickets to the home opener, we'll go from there. How about that?
You got to really make it seem like you want tickets. Like you got to be like really enthusiastic about it. You can't just come in here and be like, "I want 2 tickets."
Yeah.
No, you need
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"I want 2 tickets."
You got to come in with a smile on your face, energy.
Yes, there we go.
So yeah, we got 3 pairs of tickets. Was that? If you can, it's very full around here. Yes, if you can find parking and get in here, then
Love Firehouse.
you might get a pair of tickets. Three pairs. Yeah, so 3 pairs to the home opener, and we'll try and give those away by the end of the show. Again, Should I Go Lightly coming up here in about 10 minutes. Will be part of our 9 days until kickoff trivia, and obviously get his thoughts on Gamecock football and what he's expecting out of the season as well. Real quick, guys, the NFL's getting rid of the Pro Bowl. I know. Take a moment. Take it in. I know we're all very upset about this. When's the last time any of you actually sat down and watched the Pro Bowl, by the way?
I can't. I honestly didn't know if they still had it or not.
15 years, maybe. something
Okay.
like that. I don't.
It's probably been over a decade for me of like, instead of like flipping channels and coming across a play of like, I'm actually setting out to watch this thing. Yeah, probably like when I was in high school.
I think the Pro Bowl died when they moved it away from Hawaii, which was over a decade ago now.
Yeah.
And, I've seen people on Twitter being like, Shador Sanders killed the Pro Bowl.
That was a big thing because here's the thing.
It's not really his fault, but it's
Like,
the
and being a part of the Pro Bowl, it does carry, I forget how much they pay these guys to go to the Pro Bowl. It's a little bit. It's not something crazy. And a lot of guys, when you get named to your first Pro Bowl, you typically go because it's an honor. And hey, you go through the festivities of wherever it's at, Miami, Las Vegas, or whatever. But more often than not, after one, especially after they moved it away from Hawaii, guys just opted out. So then, like you're having like Shador last year, Tyler Huntley got it a few years ago. Remember that after he only
Yeah.
played in like
Snoop Huntley.
4 or 5 games.
Unbelievable.
And that was kind of like, okay, I think we've lost the plot on what the Pro Bowl is. Now, they're still going to honor players. And there's still going to be an event for them. It's just not going to be a game or the skills challenge like we've had the past couple years.
I wonder if they'll do it at the NFL honors ceremony that they typically do right before the Super Bowl, or if this will be like a completely separate thing.
So it says players selected as Pro Bowlers will be invited to attend an in-person celebration in L.A. during the traditional weekend the Pro Bowl games took place.
yeah.
So
okay.
that
So-
weekend before the Super
Yeah.
Bowl,
So
go to L.A. They'll
Yeah.
have a party or some
It'll be-
kind of event
yeah.
like that, which, I mean, we're not going to get to see it, right? That's going to be a private
I'm-
event.
sure.
Um,
ESPN will. Somebody will probably broadcast that. You would, but who's gonna watch? That's the thing.
Well, you know what? The NFL,
Yeah.
if they put it on, we're going to watch
Yeah.
it to some degree.
I
And
actually,
even as bad as the
yeah.
Pro Bowl got, they were still pulling in a couple
Yeah.
million viewers every year.
I actually didn't hate the concept of doing a flag football game. It's just no one really.
Last year, they were in like a warehouse too.
Yeah,
I forget where they were, but
Yeah,
it was.
maybe it was at where was the Super Bowl last year? It was
Oh God.
because I'm thinking it was at like it was in Santa Clara.
That's right.
So I think if I'm not mistaken, I think they did it at one of the convention centers there.
Okay.
So
I saw a clip. It just looked really weird. I'm
Yeah.
like, because typically they'll be like, all right, you're in Vegas. You're actually playing in Allegiant Stadium
Yeah.
in a flag football game. But yeah, that kind of seemed like the dying breath of the Pro Bowl this past year.
I mean, the greatest Pro Bowl moment, of course, was the Sean Taylor hit on Brian Moorman.
Which
winner.
you see more of that the week of the Pro Bowl than the actual Pro Bowl because everybody's like, hey, I remember when this game used to mean something to people?
Just leveled him. I remember I read something with Brian Moorman where like he was talking about that hit years later, and he said that he framed the jersey from that game. It was like his most cherished piece of memorabilia. And you know how normally if you frame a jersey, you'll put it backwards, right?
Yeah.
That you see the name, your last name and number. He said he had to do it forward because Sean Taylor hit him so hard that the helmet like ripped a hole in his jersey.
Oh my God.
And left like paint on his jersey. And so he wanted to display that. That was incredible.
See, I would almost want to display that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what he did.
Oh, so it's on the front.
he flipped
Okay.
it
All right. I
around.
thought you said he was hiding it on the back. Okay.
No, he
Now that
flipped
makes
it
more
around.
sense. I'm like, yeah, that'd be awesome because like you're known for that. I'm like, oh, I'm the guy that Sean Taylor decapitated in the Pro Bowl.
Got absolutely lit up.
Kind of off topic, but not really since it relates to the Pro Bowl. Did you guys see they knocked down Aloha Stadium?
No, I didn't. I know it's been
Yeah.
condemned for a while
Yeah, it's going down.
because
So,
Hawaii plays at like a community college field now.
yeah, but I think they're investing in that whole area to make it like a sports complex. And,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the worst thing ever.
No. Yeah. The things I had read about people that went to Aloha Stadium, even in the last
Yeah.
couple of years that it was open, was like, how is this place still standing? Basically.
Yeah, I do hate that they moved the Pro Bowl. I mean, I feel like that's a great reward to be able to go out to Hawaii because not everyone gets to go to Hawaii. I mean, these guys can. I mean, they got millions of dollars, but yeah,
Because it was built in like the 70s, I think.
yeah,
And I imagine being that close to the ocean with salt water, sand in the air, probably
didn't help.
eroded that thing pretty fast.
Yeah. I mean, it looks. I mean, I can't remember the last time Hawaii actually played there. It's definitely been a little bit since.
Yeah.
It's probably since the start of the decade that Hawaii's been at that stadium.
It's been a little bit because like I said, Aloha Stadium was falling apart even while they were still playing there in the past couple of years. But when the Pro Bowl moved from there to
The
inland
States,
and Miami, Vegas, or wherever the Super Bowl was being held, that's when it kind of felt like, okay, this isn't quite the same anymore. And again, the players were like, I don't want to go to Miami. I'd rather go to Hawaii.
Yeah, exactly.
So there you go. No more Pro Bowl. I'm sure we'll all be upset about that when February rolls around.
You think the Pro Bowl ever comes back in its old form, or is this it?
And the reason why it was taken away is because out of all of the all-star events in pro sports, it was the least competitive.
Yeah.
Like the NBA All-Star Game isn't great, but it's better than the Pro Bowl was.
I did see a great suggestion on Twitter though. Instead of like a Pro Bowl like how they used to, because I don't think they'll ever get back to that. Do a game between the worst team in the league and the second worst team in the league to
For the number one pick.
Yes, for the number one pick. I think that'd be awesome.
You get a lot of ratings for that.
Oh, I'd
Yeah.
tune in 100%.
It's like, all right, Browns and Raiders,
Yes.
week before the Super Bowl, number one pick on the line. I wouldn't be opposed. I don't know if they'd ever do that or not. We'll get to our 9 days until kickoff trivia coming up next. Sherrod Golightly also going to join us. First time ever a guest about trivia and be part of the trivia contest. So we'll get that coming up next as we continue on with the Garnet Trust Hour, presented by Krantz Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing on your Tuesday, live from Firehouse on Main Street at USC's campus here on The Game.
Everybody, let's tell you about a presenting sponsor of the Garnet Trust Hour here on The Game. It's our friends over at Krantz Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. Same great service that you're used to for all of their HVAC services, now with plumbing included. Go check out their brand new website, krantzcomfort.com. That's Krantz, comfort.com. They've keeping the Midlands comfortable since 1983. They've been to my home and Wes's home, not only for heating and air, but also for plumbing. So if you go to their website at krantzcomfort.com, you can learn more about what they can do for you: indoor air quality, heating, air conditioning, plumbing, maintenance, installations, repairs, all of it. They can do it for you. Justin, the general manager there, and his team will take great care of you. Request service online at krantzcomfort.com. Check out their financing options. and get a free estimate. Since 1983, they're the most trustworthy in HVAC and now in plumbing. KrantzComfort.com. Check them out today.
All right, welcome back in. Garnet Trust Hour presented by Krantz Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. Tyler, Wes, Chris, Jack, Josh Yellman hanging out with you here at Firehouse Subs, 633 Main Street in the heart of campus, going up into noon. Come by and see us. We've got some sandwiches out on the table here and getting you ready for Gamecock football. Do things a little bit differently today. Typically at 11 o'clock, we do our countdown to kickoff trivia question, but we are thankful to be joined today on the AAA Heating and Air phone lines by the topic of today's trivia, that being one Sherrod Golightly. Mr. Sherrod, appreciate you joining us on the phones. How are we doing today, sir?
Hey, man, it's a beautiful day, man. College football is coming back, so the day's a little brighter.
So did Chris explain to you exactly what we're doing here and why you came up as the topic today?
He gave me a couple hints. Not too much, but yeah, I'm excited though. I think we're closer to the day of the game than I thought. So it kind of snuck up on me. He gave me the hint. I was like, okay, I think
That's
I
right.
can
It's 9 days till kickoff, so you correlate with the number 9 having worn it here at Carolina. So you're giving me the topic of a trivia question I'm going to ask to Wes and Chris. So I'm going to ask the question. I'm going to let you tell them if they're right or wrong on that, and then we'll talk some Gamecock football and all that with you afterwards, okay?
Cool bean. Let's do it.
All right. All right.
Guys, I want to say real quick, it was the whole thing, the way it came together, too, was very cool.
Yes.
Because Chris was at a Gamecock Club meeting.
In Spartanburg.
Yes, and there was a guy there who had heard our other trivias we've done. So, Sherrod, every single time we do a trivia question, will be about a player who wore that number. And this person, I guess, is a huge fan of Sherrod and said, Chris, when you do the number 9, I want to personally request a Sherrod Golightly question. So
you are remembered well.
So that's where we are right now. Tyler, do you have it fired up?
I have it fired up. Sherrod, are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. In Sherrod Golightly's career at South Carolina, he had 2 career fumble recoveries. One of them was against a Power 4 opponent. Can you tell me who fumbled that football that he recovered?
Dak Prescott.
Sherrod, is he correct?
Yes, he's correct.
Kale, give me cut 31, please.
And Perkins in the game, but they'll split him out right side. Prescott all alone in the backfield, wants to run it left side. Cutting back into the arms of a couple Gamecocks. Ball pops out. Again it pops out. Picked up at the 45. Let's go lightly down to the 24-yard line. They'll probably review this, but a big impact on Prescott. And the ball fires out, and it's the 3rd turnover of the game. This one a fumble from the quarterback.
2013 versus Mississippi State in a victory for South Carolina. Sherrod recovered the fumble there by Dak Prescott. Sherrod, do you remember who forced that fumble? It was a combined effort by 2 of your teammates.
The name that stands out the most is JT Surratt.
He was one of them. Do you remember the other one?
Was it Kelsey Quarles or Clowney? One of those two.
I think I got it.
West, do you have it?
Can I get a half point?
Sure.
Chris?
Yeah, you studied this, so
I saw this play.
Okay.
Was it Chaz Sutton?
Chaz Sutton and JT Surratt were credited with the forced fumble that Sherrod picked up there. You ever go back and watch that play at all, or remember that play well?
Yeah, man. I work with kids out here in Atlanta. When they do their research on me, that's one of the plays that pops up. It kind of gives me a little stamp of approval, to my young people. So, yes, it does come up. It does come up.
Sherrod, so let's go down memory lane a little bit. So I did some research trying to figure out what Tyler was going to ask us on this question. And so that play popped up as one of the plays, biggest plays in Sherrod's career. 2014 ECU interception popped up, big moment. And then Capital One Bowl, Wisconsin, 4th and 1. Wisconsin went for it, and Sherrod just knifed into the backfield and chopped the running back down and kept him from converting the first down. So that's a few of the big plays you made. Sherrod, what is your favorite play if you have to look back? Is there one that stands out among the rest? And can you kind of take us through it and what you were thinking as that play happened?
Yeah, I would definitely say that last one. That one against Wisconsin. That was a big game. Melvin Gordon at the time was a Heisman candidate. That first half, we kind of struggled with stopping the run. And going into the second half, we made it a point to just be more physical and just leave it all out there. We had a young group at linebacker that year. So just rallying the troops between Sky Moore, Kawan Lewis, and just a few other names. We just made sure that we kind of kept the main thing, and that was being more physical. And specifically that play right there, I wasn't even supposed to blitz, man. I was literally supposed to hold the edge and stay outside, make sure nothing came outside. But something in me told me, hey, man, 4th down, go for it. And, and I'm used to coming off the edge and being fast at it. So I just took my shot and made my layup. And I even beat Clowney back there. He looked behind me and said, "Damn, that's right." I was sorry, my bad. I saw opportunity. I had to shoot the gap. And after that, the whole sideline, they all came, the whole defense. And a lot of my people I really was close to on the team came off the sideline, and we were super excited about how huge that play was. We felt the momentum shift, and we knew we had them on the road. Even as being as young as we were at that time, we took advantage and we kind of finished the drill. So I was super excited about that play. It was one of those plays that stood out. One of those plays you dream about as a kid, just being on a big stage, playing in prime time, playing on a bowl game where everyone was watching, playing one of the best teams in the country. So making that play and being as small as I was at the time, playing linebacker and being able to make such a big play, it shows you it's not about your size, it's about your heart. So I was excited about that.
Sherrodis, Chris, thanks again for taking time, man. So, you were talking about how close we are to college football in the season. Not sure how much you've kept up with South Carolina since you've left, but I imagine you have at least somewhat. Do you have any kind of storylines or things you're looking forward to this season when you're watching South Carolina? Are you going to get an opportunity to watch a lot this year?
Yeah, man, I'm super excited about some of the old traditions coming back. I know with some of the coaching staff moves, they've started to add some of the people from the old guard that came up with us playing from that 2010 to 2014 range. Just getting some of those guys in the locker room and for sure, Coach Beamer understanding nostalgia and the power of that nostalgia and just using that as leverage to kind of just remind people of the ceiling or some of the places we could go as a program. So I'm excited about innovation. We still are recruiting really well, so I'm excited about that. And the shift to Nike, I think that's a huge splash for a lot of us who kind of grew up under the Under Armour umbrella. But seeing things change for the better. I'm super excited to get back on campus. I still talk to a lot of our alumni. Still good with my brother Bruce Ellington, Ace Sanders, a couple of my guys, DJ Twins. We always talk about when we're gonna come back and try to figure out which game we should circle on the calendar to make sure we're there. But the SEC every game is a big game. But just looking forward to the season, seeing some of the talent stand out, and just try to shake up some things this year in the conference.
Yeah, Sherrod, Chris and I actually randomly saw and bumped into Bruce Ellington a couple months back here in Columbia. Looks like he can still go, man. Looks like he can still play. So that was good to see him and that he's doing well. But I know you mentioned, your work with the kids there locally. Do you want to tell the fans here maybe a little bit about what you got going on right now and just give us an update on kind of your personal life there?
Of course, man. Thank you for the opportunity too. I actually have a nonprofit called Go Hardly, Go Lightly out here in the Atlanta area. We actually use our platform to uplift student athletes in the area, whether high school or college, teaching them the power of paying it forward and giving back to their communities. So we do book bag drives, football camps, things around the holidays, turkey drives, and just use them and their platform to emphasize things that the neighborhood needs. But the neighborhoods that do so much to uplift these athletes, I think it's such an important thing to pay it forward, so you can always have a bridge to go back to of opportunity, just in case football were to stop. I also do a field day, local field days. So we go to local elementary schools and bring those student athletes to those field days and just try to get the kids over engaged because they got someone that's from their standout athletes that's from their area help them give back with a volunteer aspect. And actually, this is my 5th year, y'all, going back to Jamaica. We went to Jamaica for the past 5 years doing community service out there using field day. So field day started with a local initiative. Now it's more of a global thing. So we're looking to go to different islands, different places across the world using an inclusive event like field day and athletes to get people outside to pay attention to the right things, like paying it forward and bringing resources to people that need it.
Yeah, and I was looking a lot of that stuff on your Instagram for anybody that wants to go and find out more details about it. But it's really awesome that you are, using your platform and what you've done in your career to give back to your local community there in the Atlanta area. And man, glad to hear you're doing well, and happy that we could go down memory lane with you here for a minute.
Hey, man, thank you again for the platform to talk about it. And lastly, man, always go Gamecocks. You know, our pride is forever. The things we did there were amazing, and I think we left a blaze trail for a lot of people to follow. So I'm excited for the future, like I said, and thank you again for remembering me, Chris and the gang. Because I know I know we've had conversations at least 5 to 10 years ago, but to know that we're still remembered in such a great light is an honor.
Well, Sherrod, we appreciate you taking your time. Keep doing great things, man.
All right, thank you guys.
We'll come back and wrap up hour number 2 live from Firehouse here on your Thursday on the game. All right, welcome back in. It is the Garnet Trust Hour presented by Krantz Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. Tyler, Jack, West, Chris, hanging out with you here at Firehouse Subs. Larry just walked in. Haven't seen him in a while. Always good when he gets to come by and hang out with us. Thank you so much to Sherrod Golightly for joining us there for our little trivia segment. And if you want to see what he is up to, you can follow him on Instagram at EA_Golightly. A lot of cool stuff there. He has his GoHardWithGolightly.com where he talks a lot about the charity work that he's doing there in the Atlanta area and all that cool stuff. So if you want to keep up with him and see what he's doing, and not only in the Atlanta area but Jamaica as well, as he mentioned, then go check that out on Instagram at EA_Golightly, and you can keep up with everything that he's got going on. That was a really cool conversation with him there in that last segment.
Yeah, that was great. And good to have him on here. So thanks to him for joining us. Thanks to I guess Chris for bringing him on. So.
Well, when the person made the request, I didn't know that they were still in contact with him or what. And he's like, "Hey, we can get him on the show." And I'm like, "Heck yeah!" First time I've ever had somebody a part of the trivia contest that is the subject. So it was pretty neat.
You said makes the request. So who makes the request for the trivia?
So somebody that met Chris at one of the Gamecock Club events a few weeks back.
Okay.
That listens. They're like, "Hey, on 9 days to go. Please ask his Sherrod Golightly question."
Okay.
I'm like, okay, sure, we can do that.
Okay, cool.
And we made it happen.
Wow, nice. It's
So
awesome.
very awesome.
Only we had told that story earlier.
Yeah. Jack, you were sitting right here.
Hey, did you give the score?
Yeah, I need to update the score. So now, because you got a point and a half, because you got the bonus, it is 25 to 22 and a half. So you are pulling away. Only 6 more questions.
Wow.
If I get it tomorrow,
if you get it tomorrow,
it's going to be very, very tough.
That's a big separation.
You could technically, I think, lock it up, depending on half points for bonus. You could lock this up by Monday, potentially.
Take the pressure off.
And you could just coast through the final 4 days, basically.
No more studying.
No more studying.
It'd be like when the teacher tells you you've exempted the exam.
Oh, isn't that the best feeling? You just got your legs on the desk, your head behind your head, and like, good luck, everybody. I don't need this.
Man.
That's the opposite of like when you're going into a final exam trying to calculate the minimum score you need. I'm like, all right, if I get a 55, I'm going to pass the class. Let's shoot for that. That was me taking my Spanish 2 final in college.
I would be Lenora Sellers with one class left to graduate, basically, at that point.
Yeah. So week 0 is coming up on Saturday, but there are FCS games tonight. We mentioned Towson taking on Maine. How good do you guys know your FCS mascots?
Ooh, I'm ready for this.
You gonna play some trivia?
Yeah, I saw this on the schedule. I'm like,
all right.
I'm just gonna let Jack.
I have not
impress us with his knowledge,
but I'm not knowledgeable. That's just for fun.
I've got 6 FCS teams that are playing tonight.
All right.
I need you to tell me the mascots of each of them.
All right.
Gonna start off easy. Georgetown.
They're the Hoyas.
They're the Hoyas. Yes,
yeah.
That's very well known from basketball.
Yes.
What is not very known is that they actually do have a football.
They do have a football team.
Yeah.
How about West Georgia? My sister's alma mater, by the way.
You know this? No.
It's a pretty common mascot.
Like a panther?
No. You're on the right
Georgia
track.
State.
Yeah. No,
the West Georgia Jaguars.
No.
Be a good name.
It is a 4-legged animal.
The West Georgia Lions.
No.
All right.
Wolves. West Georgia
Wolves.
Yep. All right. How about Mercyhurst? This is where it gets more difficult.
What did you say?
Mercyhurst.
Sounds like a hospital.
It does.
I don't know.
That was pretty good, Jack.
Lakers.
Lakers.
Mercyhurst Lakers. They are from Minnesota.
Oh, well, that makes
the
sense.
land of the lakes.
Yeah.
How about Nichols, formerly known as Nichols State?
The Nickel. I feel like the Nichols State. No, I don't have it.
I don't have it either. It's gonna bother me.
49ers.
Colonels.
I would never known that. I was going to say.
I'm a liar.
All right. Northwestern State.
Mutual Bank. I'm kidding.
I believe this is Ed Orgeron's alma mater, by the way.
I don't know. I didn't get you guys to laugh at that joke there. Northwestern Mutual Bank.
How do you not know this one, Jack?
How do I not know this one? Northwestern State. I don't know.
How do you know it, Kel?
All right. It's
What
I'm
is
a
it, Kel?
college football aficionado.
Okay,
All right,
what
Kel,
is it?
tell
What
us.
is it?
It's the Demons.
They're the Demons. All right, last one, 20 seconds. St. Thomas.
You know this one, Kel?
I do.
It starts with an A, doesn't it?
It is not.
No, it doesn't.
Kale, tell us.
The Tommies.
St. Thomas Tommies. That's correct.
No, would
All
never
right,
know
Kale
that.
is a certified college football
Yeah.
sicko. Hour number 3 on the way. Welcome back in. Gamecock Central Takeover Hour here on your Thursday on the game. We are live here at the Firehouse Subs on USC's campus, 633 Main Street. Already had some students trickle in and out as the store's been open for right an hour. We're eating sandwiches, having a great time as always. And guys, we are joined by special guest Ashley Chastain Woodard, head softball coach here at the University of South Carolina. That's the benefit of being on campus, is we can just get access to coaches quite literally walking by. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's great to be back on the show, and can't believe it's already fall. And I walked through those doors at this Firehouse many times when I was a student here. So, it's very nostalgic for me to come back to this part of campus.
Well, there's nothing better than having a Firehouse on campus when you're walking to class. We're seeing all the foot traffic going back and forth between classes, so a great place to stop in and out as you go into your next class.
And they finally completed. They were doing all this road work forever over here. So you can get in, you can get out. So, yeah, if you're out there, come by, come say what's up. But, Coach, appreciate you hopping on with us. We haven't talked to you on the record in a while, but first of all, do you want to share? I know you've got some exciting news. I know some people maybe have already seen it, but I'll let you share. Congratulations.
Yes.
You want to tell everybody your big news?
Well, thank you guys. Yes, I'm expecting. I'm pregnant and with our first child, Robert and I's first child, and it's a little girl. I think the universe, just said it had to be a girl.
Sure.
I think the team was really excited also when I told them it was a girl because they, just having a little girl. Our associate coach, Katie Browder, has had a little girl 2 years ago. So having Arden in the program the last 2 years, it's been a lot of fun. But yeah, we're really excited. We're expecting. I'm due in January. So, the start of the spring semester is going to be a little bit different for me. But I said the other day when I was thinking about the last 3 years here, going into our third team here, every year for me has been very different. So I was engaged when I got the job, and then we got married, going into that first season, and now I'm pregnant going into this season. So a lot of personal change for me over the last couple of years.
Your life has just kicked into high gear ever since you've gotten this job here at South Carolina.
Yeah, all good, exciting things. So what did the team react with? Either when you said, "Hey guys, I'm expecting," or when you told them, it's going to be a girl, future Gamecock softball player, obviously. What was there? Just did they go crazy? Or?
Yeah, the summer is so dynamic with recruiting, and some of them are here taking summer school, and some of them are at home training. And so, I really I think told them kind of in chunks, like when I would see them, because we went through the portal season, and so not a lot of people knew through June. And then when I started showing, it was harder to hide. So we had some camps in July that they came back and worked. And so they kind of looked at me like, what's that? So I kind of told them in chunks through the fall or through the summer when I would see them either at the facility or working camp or different things like that. And then a couple of them had to call on the phone and tell them. I remember I told Emma Friedel on the phone just because I hadn't seen her yet. And I was like, well, she can't get left out of the big news. She probably had already found out when I ended up calling her. But yeah, they were really excited and just instantly so happy for Robert and I. And I think instantly when they found out it was a girl, because we made our announcement late July, that was a girl. I think they were like, oh my gosh, you're going to be the best girl mom, because I've got a lot of experience with girls. And then they instantly go to Robert. I'm like, oh, how did he take the news? And honestly, Robert is so excited to be a girl dad. Wes, you know all about that. So he's really excited about it. And, I dare to say that she's probably going to have a bat and a ball and a glove very early on. So she's definitely going to be exposed to the sport, both baseball and softball.
Well, Wes, you can pass along some of the things that your daughter's growing out of to help them out.
I've got exactly 1 year of girl dad experience I can pass along to Robert. He's going to love it, though. Like it is it will be very difficult, but also the absolute best thing you guys ever do. So I know you guys are excited. And again, congrats to both of you. Excited for you.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little ball.
Yeah.
Team is kind of back together, back on campus. How does this time of year look and work for you guys in terms of starting to begin the process of a new season?
Yeah, everyone's back. We started classes last Tuesday. So, Columbia in general goes kind of being a ghost town, and then all the students fled back. So it's been busy around here trying to find parking and different things. But, the team's been back. A lot of them stayed and trained through the summer. which is such an advantage, and it's such a crucial time in their development, through the summer. So a lot of them have been here really the whole summer working out, which is great. And we had 6 of our 8 freshmen that came in, that came early for summer too. So they've been here since the end of June. So, they get a feel for the city and just the lay of the land with it, not being so packed, so when they start the fall, it's a little less stressful. But as far as like team training, we've been training since last Tuesday. So we had our first team meeting last Monday and started training Tuesday. So we've had a couple sessions under our belt. Our time right now is pretty condensed down to skill work. We're not in our full team practice segment yet, which will be October 1st is when we start that. But, last week, this week, and then the month of September, it's just, I think about getting them comfortable, getting them on the field, a lot of positional training. So the infield's been working, even the corners and the middles have been working separately. A lot of separate groups of offense coming in and training, throughout the afternoon. But it's been really fun. The energy of the group is great. And this year we have 8 returners, we have 8 freshmen, and we have 8 transfers.
Oh.
So we're thirds.
Balance.
It's balanced, And what I love about the transfer class specifically, when we recruited them through the portal season, those 8, they're really experienced and they're really confident. They've been playing at a high level from their previous institution. And I think that was something that we really targeted in the portal, is that we wanted experienced success that had been proven no matter where it came from. We just wanted people that already knew how to win. And so that I feel that from that group, and the work has been really exciting. It's been fun, getting to know them, kind of being around them every day for the last week. So still a long way to go. But I love the energy, and just what I'm seeing so far.
Is it crazy that it's year 3 already?
Yeah, I know, right?
It's
flies by.
Yeah. I mean, aside from all the life changes, what's the biggest difference between you when you first took this job, and you were Ashley Chastain at the time too, right? So biggest change from that to now, what's the big difference for you?
I learned so much every year being a head coach. You learn a lot just through your experience of the season. I think the 25 season, ended with the heartbreak in the super regional here. That taught me a lot just about the power of connection and relationships and trust. That team had so much trust, and you could see it when we played. And they were really talented. I mean, every team we have here is going to always be really talented, but some of the intangibles that team had, that some of those that last year's team didn't have, it's kind of the difference between the two groups. And so, you just learn a lot about personnel and people. At the end of the day, we play softball, but we're in the people business, picking the right people and managing them and, giving them opportunities to grow, I think is huge, especially in the off season. So I've learned a lot. I don't know if I can pinpoint exactly one thing. I feel like every year I get a little bit more patient as maybe that's just as you get older in life and more experience, and you get married and you have to be a little bit more patient, and then you start having kids and you have to be really patient. But I still wake up every day and just am so blessed to be here, living my dream of coaching this program and leading the program. And we have a lot of staff continuity. The whole staff returned, and so I think we as a staff in the office feel like going into year 3, we're just ahead on things that we're kind of scrambling on the first 2 years, which is natural of taking over a program and changing all the things that you want to change, but you just kind of get into a little bit of more of a rhythm. You feel like you're thinking of things ahead of time, and just the flow of the office and the staff camaraderie has never been better. So that's really great. And I work with the best people in the country, which if we run, the team runs, and so the staff is in a really good spot. And we're really excited for all the fall ball we got coming up.
Ashley Chastain Woodard joining us here as we're at Firehouse on USC's campus. You said first full practice is October 1st. You have an exhibition game the next day against Georgia Southern. So a lot to get done in that first practice, right?
Yes. And, a lot of those things that you need to go live against another team that first time, we'll do a lot of that in positional training, so they'll be prepared. They'll know the bunt coverages and the cuts and relays and all that stuff. We'll do all that stuff through this month of September. But we originally weren't supposed to play on October 2nd. We were just going to do like an inter squad. And then Georgia Southern reached out and wanted to come here and play us. And I just couldn't pass up the opportunity to play someone of that caliber in the fall. And so I went to the staff and I was like, I added a game and it's actually October 2nd. And they kind of looked at me like, okay, we're on board. We're going to need to make sure we do a lot of legwork through September just to make sure they're ready for that first, game. But the fall is exciting. It's a time to give opportunity. It's a time to see what everyone has and, put people in certain situations to get to know how they're going to handle things. So we're always going to take the field ready to win and expecting to win. But, it's a great opportunity to put people in situations that you're not going to have the luxury of doing that, in the spring.
People who have followed softball in this area already know the name Aspen Boulware, but, somebody listening hasn't really been paying attention to all that. She comes in, maybe the highest recruited freshman in program history. I think she may literally be. She's definitely up there. What can you tell everybody about Aspen and just who she is as a player, a person, and how her first couple of months have been on campus?
I think it's been what we expected. I mean, she is the real deal. I'll speak to her kind of off the field because that's the part we've probably gotten to know the most. We were fortunate enough to be able to see her play a lot because she was so close. So we knew what we were expecting on the field, and it's as advertised. But off the field, she has a really good perspective. Like, she makes really good decisions. Other than the fact that she's driving a scooter around Columbia. If you see Aspen Boulware, she's probably on this big scooter.
I saw that on her Instagram.
Yes.
The unboxing of it. And I was like, I don't know about that.
I know.
Aspen.
I know. My heart kind of skipped a beat
My
when
girl
she told
dad
me
kicked
about
in
it. I
for
know.
a second there.
I have to check this out.
So we had to have a little talk about just safety and, the speed that she was allowed to drive the scooter at around campus and how people don't really watch for scooters. So you have to, watch out. But she's having a great time and connected really well. I was really proud of our returners that are kind of those upperclassmen like Tate Davis and Precious Bross and Emma Friedel and Tori Inslee. And those guys really, through the summer, I think, really gathered around the 6 freshmen that came early, Aspen included, and just kind of showed them the way. They all trained together. They all worked out together. They had a lot of meals together. And I think just kind of the compassion of, hey, we know what it's like to step on campus for the first time as a freshman and not really know anything. So we're going to help you guys out and take you under our wing. And Aspen's even shared with me the past week since we started training how awesome that was for her specifically, because she's really talented, but she's also 18. Like, she doesn't know how any of this works yet. So, but she's, Aspen, she's really serious about school. She makes really good decisions. She's, really respectful to everybody that she comes in contact with that works with the program or surrounds the program. And she's funny, she's kind of the whole package, the real deal. And so she's, I think, had a great first week of school. And, obviously the training has proven to be what we thought it would be. She's very talented. And so just helping her, I think, understand the game at this level and, understanding, how to get in the cage and train with a lot of information, because a lot of times the information that they're exposed to is probably the biggest difference for them coming in at this level.
I just looked it up. That is a very impressive scooter, by the way, that she has. There's nice ones out there. That might be the nicest one I think I've seen.
Yes.
Yeah, very, very cool. Again, Ashley Chastain Woodard joining us here at Firehouse. We'll have more with her on the other side as we continue with the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour on your Thursday on the Game. All right, welcome back in. It is the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour. We're live at Firehouse 633 Main Street, right here in the heart of campus, as I see all the students walking by again. So that must mean class just got out. And if you're walking around, come by and see us, grab some subs. We'll talk some football. John Bryce, by the way, of USA Sports, going to join us coming up at 11:30 as we dive back into college football. But Ashley Chastain, Woodard Gamecock softball coach, hanging out with us for a few more minutes here on this Thursday, as we just talked about. You guys are already getting the fall work in. Practice officially starts coming up in a month, and you'll play some games before you get into the beginning of the season next year during the same time with the baby and all that kind of stuff. So early 2027 is going to be very, very busy for you and this program.
Yes, it is. And it takes a village, to run the program and also to have a family. And, Robert and I are leaning into that. And, we're lucky enough that our parents are very involved. And my parents are retired and close by. They're here a lot anyways because they're our biggest fans. So, it's definitely going to be different for us. And we're going to lean into that. But I'm surrounded by such a great support system in a village. Our administration, Jeremiah and Hillary, the people that I work with every day, they have been so wonderful through the process and so excited for us. And, I just feel really comfortable that, it's going to be hard, but definitely doable just because the people I'm around.
Coach, obviously last week, Jamie McKay puts it out that she's coming back to South Carolina, and obviously a lot of athletes that are eligible to come back with the court rulings and whatnot with the class of 2022. 5th year of eligibility. What can you share about how that process is working and what you know about whether she's going to be able to actually be back for next season?
Yeah, that's been a pretty complex case for us the last couple of weeks. We got to a place with our compliance and with the conference that we felt comfortable bringing Jamie McKay back on the roster, which was awesome. And Jamie was in a different position than like a Jory Hurd or an Ari Rhodey was because she professionalized in baseball. So the professional league that she's in is actually in baseball. So if you professionalize in a different sport, then you were eligible to come back. So she was in a little different bucket than most. And so we started working to get her back into class, just kind of integrate her back into the system. And she was going to finish her, and she still is finishing her baseball contract. They have regular season games through next week. So we were working on all of that stuff behind the scenes. And, we were honest with her from the beginning of like, hey, it's an appeal. This is like kind of like we feel 70% this might happen, 30% we could pause this, because of the court ruling, whatever comes back. And Jamie was not a part of a specific lawsuit filing, like the case in Texas or the case in Louisiana. So she applied to the case in Colorado, which was a blanket waiver for everybody. And so when the appeal to higher court won last week, that put a pause on us being able to bring her back. And it was really terrible timing. There's no good timing for that news. We were really excited to bring her back probably middle of September and get her back into school and start training with the team. But it was a tough call last week when I said, hey, we have to pause all of that now because the appeal did win. And so because you're a part of that blanket waiver of the case in Colorado, that put a pause on all of that.
So just to clarify, so she's going to be on campus.
As of right now, no, she's not.
No, okay.
Yeah, we put a pause on everything once the appeal won last week in the case in Colorado.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yes, and she actually had just announced on social.
I saw that, yeah.
We had been waiting and waiting. I said, let's just wait a little bit longer. And so I had given her the green light to post the day before. It was terrible timing. I'd given her the green light to post the day before because she had gotten admitted back into grad school and we were moving forward on a couple of those things. And it just was unfortunately the very next day the appeal came back to win the case in Colorado. Mm-hmm.
So just kind of a wait and see, I guess, at this point. As a lot of people are in that spot right now across college athletics, such a just different, strange time right now. We talked about Aspen earlier. You want to tell us about some of these other freshmen? I know there's several freshman arms in this class that all, have credentials, resumes from high school. It's a jump up, obviously, but how much can we expect some of those girls to get in and possibly play this year?
Yeah, I think we're going to have some young pitching for sure, and really, really talented. Somebody that that has stood out to me the last week has been Hannah Wolf. We haven't had a lefty on staff. Sam Gress a couple years ago acted as our lefty because her ball flight was really unique for a right-handed pitcher. But we finally have a lefty. Her name is Hannah Wolf, everyone. She's fantastic. So we're really excited about that. And I've been watching her throw for a week, and she is just got the it factor. She just like watching her throw pins. She's really intentful, really serious. I think mature beyond just coming in as a freshman. And she spent the summer here, so she's 6-8 weeks ahead of where she normally would be. But she's really impressive. She's got really good stuff, and she's actually throwing to her catcher for her whole life, who we also brought in as a freshman, Hayden Sujak. So they're really comfortable with each other. We do project Hayden to catch a lot for us as a freshman. She's really talented, and that's a new thing for us because we've had Lexi Winters for years. So being able to train a young catcher, I know Jody Davidson, our catching coach, has really enjoyed that for a week with Hayden. But I think the Hayden Sujak, Hannah Wolf combo for so far has been really, really promising for us. I'm really excited about what they're doing. And Libby Miller from up in Fort Mill area won state championship this year. She looks great. All those guys I think are just really trying to make a name for themselves, which is really exciting energy around the stadium.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I just looked at the roster, did not see, just wanted to double check. Do you have any players that are still left from the switch from UNCC to here?
No.
Okay.
No, we've graduated that generation. Yes.
Okay. So my question is, obviously a lot of those players made huge impacts.
Yeah.
Rhodey, Lexi. What was the challenge of trying to replace that level of talent and also knowing that you don't have any more players from that transition?
Yeah. It's it's a chapter closed for me, honestly. And it's bittersweet. You coach kids that you don't ever want them to walk away, ever. You want them to have lifetime eligibility and always be with you, which is unrealistic. And a lot of those are in that category. So losing those guys and turning the page, is definitely bittersweet. I have my sad moments about it, but really I'm just filled with gratitude that I got to coach them for as long as I did, and the impact that they had here on this campus when we got here in 2024 has been so insurmountable, and I'm forever indebted and grateful for them for the work that they put into the program. And I think as a coaching staff, some people aren't replaceable. And I think if you think about it like that, then you kind of you never find the right ones because you're always comparing. Comparison is a lot of times the thief of joy. So it's like, instead of trying to replace them, we try to now have a framework for what success looks like in that position, right? Like we've seen elite catching for 4 years with Lexi Winters, right? So what did she do that was really, really great? And let's go find someone that does those same things, which is Hayden Sujak, right? And we also brought in Brooke Bennett for behind the plate from Longwood, who had the #1 DSR ranking in 6-4 analytics as a catcher, so you just have a framework now of like something that really worked and was really successful. And you try to go find something that is going to give you those same intangibles. And then obviously every personality is different, so you try to match all those up on the team. But it's bittersweet to close that chapter and move on. But I'm so excited about the future, and I still wholeheartedly believe that our best days are still in front of us. So that's what we're still working for every day.
Last one here. Somebody on our live stream wanted to know, when do we get next year's schedule? When is that going to come out?
Yeah, the goal is always to get that out, around Halloween. It's built, it's done. I can tell you it's a really great schedule. We play a lot of home games this year. That might have been a little intentional on my part with a new child coming on the way.
Smart.
Yeah, but we play a ton of home games. So it'll be a live opportunity to come here and see us play. We've got some big matchups. Our league schedule is really exciting. So it'll come out late October, early November is usually the window of when we tried to get that out. But it was announced recently that we're in the Clearwater Invitational, the ESPN tournament down in Florida. And you can kind of see the opponents there. You can kind of put 2 and 2 together of who we're probably going to play there. There were some teams that were already on our schedule in the field, so we obviously can't play them down in Clearwater. But that should be a really great opportunity for us to play high-level competition in week 2 and challenge ourselves really early. So late October, early November, watch for the schedule.
Okay.
And I'll try to give hints along the way until then.
Very cool. Well, Coach, thanks for hanging out with us a little. Congratulations on the news, and we can't wait to see everything with your life and the softball team as you go into next year.
Oh, thank you guys so much. It was wonderful being back with you.
She is Astra Chastain. What are we live here at Firehouse Subs on Main Street here in the heart of campus. Gonna talk some football with John Bryce of USA Today coming up next here on your Thursday on the Game. All right, welcome back in. It is the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour. We are live here at Firehouse Subs, 633 Main Street, right in the heart of campus, enjoying some delicious Firehouse Subs, getting you set for the college football season. We're going to talk some college football now with the guy John Bryce of USA Today joining us on the AAA Heating and Air phone lines. First of all, John, if you got a call from a random number a minute ago, that was me attempting to send our producer your phone number. So apologies, but how are you doing today, man?
No apologies needed. So appreciate the chance to visit with you boys as always.
Like all of us, I think you're ready to actually be starting talking and writing about games because, my goodness, this offseason, even up into the last couple of days, has been nothing but off the field litigation, lawsuits, and everything in between. How ready are you to just actually have games starting this weekend?
Oh, gosh, it can't get here soon enough. There's some compelling FCS action starting tonight. But, you know, this decade has featured more changes in college football than the previous 5 decades. And I feel like this offseason has packed in a decade's worth of off-season storylines into 6 months. So, yeah, let the games begin.
John, appreciate you taking time. Man, it's Chris. Hope you're doing well. Tyler was filling out his SEC projections earlier, which got me to thinking. And so I want to get your take on this. Obviously, college football playoff has expanded over time, but not where it may be in the near future in terms of team expansion. And look up and down the SEC, kind of has that meat grinder feel, right? Like you can really see some chaos. You can really see a whole bunch of teams that are going to have an opportunity to win a bunch of games. And I think, Tyler, what'd you have, like 7 teams going 10-2?
Yeah, I ended up with a scenario where 7 different teams in the SEC had a 10-2 record. So, John, that is possible this year if you weren't aware.
Yeah, so that's possible. And it's hard to envision 7 teams from the SEC getting into the college football playoff. What are your thoughts on kind of the breakdown? Like, is this the first year that a 9-3 team gets in? How many teams, if that scenario plays out that Tyler has, how many can get in? Because you got to consider the Big Ten and auto bids too, right?
Yeah, you do. I think this is the year, Chris, an excellent question and good work by you guys. I think this is the year that proves the playoff needs to be at least 16 teams. 16 is my preference. I think 16 is the sweet spot. And this year in particular, I think there's probably a top 6 in college football and then the next 10 teams. But I feel like there's a huge discrepancy between like the teams ranked 18 to 25 right now and everybody else. And so I think this is the year that we see that we need to have a 16-team playoff. It's probably the year that somebody in the SEC gets left out and maybe Sankey gets a little more effective with his work to get the playoff expanded. The people I talk to are adamant that it will expand much sooner than later, likely for the 2027 season and beyond. But yeah, I think there's going to be a bunch of 9-3 teams in the SEC, and we saw Bama get in last year as a 3-loss team after the SEC championship game. But there are going to be some very worthy 9-3 SEC teams this year that you feel like could go beat the ACC champion on any given Saturday, or the Big 12 champion, or maybe the third team from the Big 10 or something like that. So, yeah, I do think this year the playoff committee is going to have its toughest job as of yet.
You mentioned Bama, John, and I want to get your take on the Crimson Tide. You know, some people still have them as, you know, that 9-3, 10-2 type team. Am I wrong being maybe a little bit skeptical about him? I think Keelan Russell is a great talent, but he's also a first-year starter. And, man, if you dive into the metrics, as everybody is trying to get older in college football, this is one of the youngest teams in terms of returning snaps and experience in the SEC. I think they're the youngest or the second youngest. Doesn't that matter? And am I, you know, kind of overplaying that a little bit?
No, Chris, you're not. For USA Today, when we launched the coaches poll earlier this month, and I like that one a lot because it's not because I'm at USA Today, but it's because it's the coaches, it's the people that are supposed to know college football way better than even us. And so I had Alabama among my 5 most overrated teams anywhere in college football, and I stand by that. I think they are very young. They had much more talent last year, and they stumbled at times. And I think that they're poised to stumble again at times this year, being a younger team. Now, they feel really good about the changes they made with their offensive line coach and kind of how they're going to play with more of a chip on their shoulder and have some more physicality this year than they did a year ago. But, you know, they had 2 picks in the top 13. They had the number 12 and number 13 picks, both from the offensive side of the ball. And they struggled to run the football last year and frankly got Ty Simpson way too beat up. And so it's hard not to see some more struggles in that regard this year. I don't think they're going to lose to a Florida State at home at all. But I do think Alabama will be primed to be picked off, whether it's right there in Columbia, the greatly named Williams-Brice Stadium, or whether it's some other pitfalls along the way.
Hey, I got to ask on the other end, do you have a sleeper or two for us, either in the SEC or nationally? Who are you high on that other folks are not?
I'm pretty high on Virginia Tech, as much because they've brought some experience with them from Penn State, and because I think the ACC is incredibly wide open beyond Miami. You can talk SMU. SMU is one of those teams that has a lot of talent, doesn't always play the most physically, and also seems prone to stubbing its hooves, so to speak. So nationally, I like Virginia Tech. At the SEC level, I think Missouri is another team that I have struggling quite a bit.
Again, talking to John Brice of USA Today. A couple more minutes here with him on your Thursday. How many teams can actually win the national championship this year? We have a 12-team playoff. Most years, not all 12 teams are really national championship threats. Where do you draw the line, and how many teams do you think are that level going into this year?
You know, we had a story this week on USA Today that we'd worked on all summer long about the biggest spenders in college football, what the cost of a roster is truly this year in college football. And there were 6 teams that kind of stood apart from the pack in terms of spending. And I really think that the top 6 teams this year in college football are separate from everyone else in terms of ability to win a college football playoff national championship, and not in any particular order, but I think Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, Georgia, Notre Dame, and maybe Indiana are kind of in one class, and Miami's knocking on the cusp of that, and then it's everybody else. But you get into a playoff and you get a home playoff game. We've seen it in Major League Baseball when the wild card round actually turns out to be a good thing. So if you get to host a home playoff game and get some momentum, Georgia hasn't won a playoff game since it's gone to this bye 12-team format. So I think there's something to that. You get to that point in the season, then maybe you feel like anything can happen, especially if you're healthy and the other team is not. But entering the season, I truly believe there's a massive divide between teams 1 through 6 or 7 and everybody else in college football.
Last about 2 minutes here. You have a favor for the Heisman Trophy yet?
Yeah, we had to submit that for USA Today yesterday for some upcoming coverage next week. And I'm probably in the Dante Moore edges out CJ Carr to win the Heisman Trophy.
I think that's pretty fair. A very good chance both those guys could be in New York when December rolls around. Well, John, man, we appreciate your time. Like I said, we're all just ready for actual games to get played. We can stop talking about lawsuits and court cases and all that kind of stuff. Though we know those things aren't going away anytime soon. But at least we can finally talk about some football.
No, it's awesome. You know, I love visiting with you boys. I got to visit with Mark Carney this summer, the Kent State head coach. He was awesome to talk to. So maybe you can get him on your airwaves next week before they play the Gamecocks. It's an exciting time for all of us.
Real quick, any nuggets you can tell us about Kent State ahead of next weekend, since you mentioned that?
They feel really good. They're playing with a chip on their shoulder. They had a lot of continuity. They felt like overall they surprised a year ago, and that's what got Carney the job on a permanent basis. So not so much X's and O's, just they feel like that they're a very cohesive team that has some good leadership in the locker room, and the coaching staff really vibes very well. I was actually with Coach Carney and their defensive coordinator this summer at an event.
Well, we know Dorelis Clark might be the best name in all of college football. We're very aware of him.
There you go. That's exactly right.
John, man, we appreciate it. We'll check in with you more as the season goes along. Take care. All right, it's John Bryce there of USA Today. We'll come back, wrap up the show here at Firehouse Subs on Main Street in the heart of campus. Talk to our guy Larry Chandler, and Jack's going to eat a really hot pickle. Stay tuned. Coming up next here on the game.
All right, guys, let me tell you about the South Carolina Education Lottery. Did you know since 2002, more than 244,000 lottery-funded scholarships and grants have been awarded to University of South Carolina students via the Life, SC Hope, and Palmetto Fellows scholarships. Lottery proceeds have funded millions of scholarships and grants across the great state of South Carolina and thousands of school buses to get students to school. Playing the lottery for fun is a win for education in South Carolina. You can learn more at sceducationlottery.com/educationwins. Chris Clark was one of those students who had the Life Scholarship. I was one of those students who had the Life Scholarship, and more than 2.8 million lottery-funded scholarships via, again, the Life, Hope, and Palmetto Fellows have been handed out throughout the last decade plus. Again, that website, sceducationlottery.com/educationwins. Check it out right now.
All right, welcome back in. It is the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour. Tyler West, Chris Jack have been hanging out here at Firehouse Subs all morning long. We've made it to the final segment of the show. Our guy Larry Chandler's joining us. We're also going to get Jack to eat some of these hot pickles for his punishment for not knowing about
plural,
Jefferson
pickle.
Pilot Sports. Larry, do you have fond memories of Jefferson Pilot Sports back in the day?
Oh, yeah, ACC Network, baby.
Dave, and Dave on the call, all that?
Right.
So for context, Larry, I made an executive decision. I hope it's okay. Jack did not know. Now he's younger.
Right.
I've heard of Jefferson.
He
Pilot.
was at what is Jefferson Pilot Sports? So he's being punished.
He should be punished.
I mean, yeah.
Surprised. He's not that young, is he?
He's born in 2000.
2000. So
Okay, well,
yeah.
Well,
give him a break.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so we formerly Firehouse had the Last Stab pickle, limited time type of thing. So we have made our own pickle. We have taken a pickle and we have doused it.
Do you have a name for it?
Well, if it's good, we can call it the Gamecock Central sauce combination.
Yeah. The Gamecock Central sauce combination pickle.
It's the punishment pickle.
The punishment pickle.
Yes, Gamecock Central's punishment pickle.
Oh my God.
Yes.
All right. Do we
So-
want to?
Good luck.
All right, you want to dive in?
while we talk-
While we're talking to
Go
Larry,
ahead.
you take the pickle down.
Go ahead.
After you taste it,
Yeah, let me
anyway.
take this off for a second.
Well, as Jack does that, Larry, it's been a while since we hung out with you. It's been a while since we've been out at Firehouse Subs. How have you been, and what's your excitement level for 9 days from now when the season kicks off?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Thanks for being here as always. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, I'm excited. I got a little, confidence that we're going to do well. Oh my God, you're turning red.
That was one bite.
He's sweating.
Sorry.
You don't have to eat all the pickles, just one.
No, all excited. I think we got some great things, great possibilities for the football team, and tough schedule, but it is what it is. So go tee it up, as they say, right?
That's right.
Any road games on the docket this year for you?
I've got tickets to I think all of them. I'm definitely going to Oklahoma. Not sure about Alabama yet. Got to figure out we'll just drive in that day and leave after that night. But it is pretty exciting, the possibility of going there at night, because I think we're going to win for sure.
Oh.
I think we owe them, and I feel confident about that. That's my hot take. We're going to take Alabama down in Tuscaloosa.
This is the year.
Hey, you've done everything but beat them the past couple of years, so
it should be going for our third win in a row, I guess.
very true.
Right? So
I know that's crazy.
No, I think we got to get some breaks. I mean, there's going to be a lot of close games, I'm sure, in the conference, and we got some really great players, and we got to get it done. So, excited. It's kind of once the summer hit, then time went by really fast, and here we are.
Oh, yeah. Well, as I just mentioned to our last guest, John Bryce, I think we're all sick of talking about legal issues and lawsuits. Let's play some football. Let's actually talk about the 60 minutes on the field and focus on that. And, man, we're so close. Week 0 this weekend. West's not a believer. You going to be tuning in Week 0 on Saturday?
I'm going to watch a couple games. I think North Carolina played
TCU. Yep.
I think there's maybe another game or so. But, yeah, you got to watch football if it's on, right?
That's what we tell Wes every time. He's not a believer.
He's a non-believer in Week 0.
He's a non-believer.
If you're, as Tyler says, Larry, if you're a true college football sicko, you can watch South Carolina's Week 2 opponent tonight, Towson.
Yep, that's true.
They'll be coming here Week 2. They play Maine tonight. If you want to check that out,
get scouting report on.
Get scouting report.
Yeah, there you
on
go.
Towson.
I'm sure Coach Beamer wants me to do that. Send some notes over to him. Right?
Hey, if you watch it, send some. If you observe anything, I mean, I'm sure they'll take anything they can get.
Oh my goodness. No, it's ready to roll. I'm definitely gonna watch football though. For sure.
We're all ready, man. Jack, how you doing over there?
How you doing?
It's hot. It's hot. I still feel it in my mouth. Like it's now. I will tell you, it was not as bad as the last stab. The last stab was really bad. This, I could take it.
Okay.
I mean, I ate a whole pickle, no problem. But man,
I told you to get some sugar, but you're all right.
I know. I'm
Yeah,
doing
he's
okay.
fine.
I'm doing okay. I got my Diet Coke in the cup.
I can see the spices from the
It's-
sauce on the pickles.
Like it's
yeah.
And just as a
I mean-
reminder, if you eat anything hot sauce, you get a drink of water.
Yeah.
It's just mixing the hotness.
I
around
know.
out.
So I
So
think
it's something sugar.
Yeah.
Like a sugar packet. Or
after we
sugar.
get off air here, I think I'll grab one of y'all's
But
cookies.
I'm proud of you doing well.
No,
Yeah.
I know.
You're handling it better than the last
I
one
know.
for sure.
I know. This one,
Now
So-
you're probably going to get a lot of customers coming here wanting to do the.
I know the
flash
pun.
hot
Yeah,
pickle.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, the
it's
Gamecock-
all over
What have we
Columbia.
started?
They're gonna be doing
Gamecock
that.
Central
Yeah.
I'm
punishment
gonna get the phone
pickle.
calls like,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
you turned me down. I can't
Yeah.
pickle, so.
Yeah. You
But-
You created problems for me today.
Yeah, but
Thank
it
you
was
very much.
but it
It's
was
my fault.
drenched in the what was it, the scorpion?
Scorpion hot sauce.
Yes, the number
Sizzling
9.
Scorpion.
yeah.
I
So-
need to get you a 10++, like the bomb or
Yeah.
The
special
bomb.
special bottle next time.
I know, please
Yeah.
feel free.
Letter, you were telling us something that we weren't even aware of, but Cajun fries, also something that's
Yeah.
new
Cajun
here as well.
fries, we got Cajun fries now. We got the steak and chicken melt, which is a little bit different with this faulty sauce drizzle. And we got Thanksgiving sub coming back next month. We're happy. And then we're going to have a bourbon brisket coming out
Ooh.
soon. Bourbon flavored brisket.
Hey, now.
Y'all going to be all excited here in the fall time.
You have my attention.
Yeah, definitely. So
I checked out the steak honey melt, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Chicken one's up next.
really good.
Yeah.
For sure.
My wife had the chicken one a few weeks ago, and
If you like it. Good.
stamp of approval.
Yeah, that's good. That's good taste with the the pepper and onions on it and the drizzle.
Last about 30 seconds here as we're getting set for the start of the season. You have a record prediction for Carolina this year?
Every year I say 12-0 playoffs, but I do say this, and shout out to men and women's soccer. I feel
Mhm.
like both will be in the playoffs.
Great start of the year.
My other hot take is football. We're going to be in the playoffs too, so we're going to be
Hey.
football galore in the fall.
There you go.
And but I feel like every year I say 12-0 because I look at the schedule and
Yeah.
I can tell you how we can beat every team, but
Here's hoping.
we're just hoping. So as a true diehard Gamecock, I can never say we're going to lose a game.
That's right. Larry, thanks so much for having us out here. We'll see you next time.
Love y'all. Appreciate you.
Halftime show up next here on the game.
Oh, I got you.
Yep.
All right, everybody, let's tell you